Okay. Alright, looks like it's running alright. So I was going to edit my old recordings of this, but then I realized that my old mic quality is terrible and my new mic is way better. Also, it takes a lot of time to edit out, like, flubs and bad reads and just outtakes out of the final edited playthroughs, so I decided that streaming it would just be, like, a lot easier and more fun. Oh wait, I didn't want to do that. Load. Okay, so I'm going back to this point. I place a hand on my forehead and take a deep breath. At this point, I should just try to get some photos to look somewhat competent at my job. I slip my phone back into my pocket, grab my camera, and begin walking around the hall. Doing my best to look for opportunities to snap some decent shots, I do a lap around the hall. Even then, I'm still struggling to find anything good. Hello. Hey there, Joseph Panna. E. It isn't long before I notice Ben across from me, and from the looks of it, he's managing a fair bit better than I am. Not only is he finding better shots than I am, but the guests are going to him to ask for shots. Actually, the more I think about it, Ben might actually have some decent advice to give, right? Better than what I got from Damien, at least. I surreptitiously maneuver around the various wedding-goers impeding my path trying to get to Ben. Eventually, I have an opening. Yo, Senshi! How's it going, everybody? Eventually, I have an opening while Ben is currently taking a picture of another couple by their table. Not wanting to seem like I'm lost, I try to blend in and join him. I get near Ben and get down on one knee to take alternate angled shots of the couple. As if he had a sixth sense, Ben quickly noticed my presence, shocked that I was next to him. Inko, what are you doing? I, just wanted to get some alternate shots for the lovely couple, just in case they would like them, you know? Hi, Chaos Wolf! I give off an awkward laugh, though it's not amusing to Ben. He gives me an icy glare that sends shivers down my spine, as I've clearly stepped into his territory. I think it'd be more efficient if we work in different parts of the venue. What if there are people over there that want their picture taken? If the people over there wanted a picture, I wouldn't be here in the first place. What's the title of game? Oh, Chaos Wolf. This is I Wanny Hug That Gator. It's a visual novel. I wouldn't really call it a dating sim. It's more of a story. Choice-based. There's, I think, 4 different endings, and I'm not sure which one that I'm going to get. I'm hoping it's a good one. Basically, the bald dude is the main character. His name is Inko. Aw, thanks for the hearts. He's an art student, and he's in love with this girl named Olivia, who is a alligator in a... I think she's an alligator? In a wheelchair, who is a painter. I get back on my feet and leaning close to the preoccupied Paris Aralphus to talk to him. They're taking photos at a wedding for extra credit. Look, Ben, I need some advice. Thank you, young man. No problem, ma'am. Finished with the couple's photos, Ben turns around and begins to hoof it down the venue to look for more photo ops. Ben equals liquid grease! Oh no! Ah, he does look like him a bit, doesn't he? Advice, you say? It's about Olivia. Mentioning the baryonyx... okay, so that's like a prehistoric crocodile, I think? Mentioning the baryonyx stops Ben dead in his tracks. He turns around to face me. What about Olivia? Well, it's just that I take a deep breath to steady myself. The thing is, I think I love Olivia. Ben's face goes from confusion to sheer surprise, his eyes going as big as his glasses. Wait, what? Are you serious? Of course I'm serious. And don't call me what? Since you've known her for longer, I figured I could ask you some things about her. Sometimes when I read, I have to move my eyes down to the box, and it makes it look like my eyes are closed. I'm not sure how to fix that yet. And since you've known her for longer, I figured I could ask you some things about her. Ben? Ben? What? I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. You said you're in love with Olivia, and I did. Or I think I am. Look, I don't really know, but I'm asking for some help, and... The Parasaur clasps his hands on my shoulder and smiles broadly. This is wonderful news. Olivia's always been a bit of a loner, but to know that someone likes her like that is just fantastic. His arm wraps around my neck, and he starts dragging me away from the wedding crowd. Okay, right, so you want to know more about Olivia, yeah? We used to be the best of friends, way, way back. I wonder if that has something to do with why Ben's girlfriend, Mia, doesn't like Olivia? I pay close attention to Ben as he went over his history with the girl I may or may not love. A part of me wanted to take notes on my phone as he listed down all the shows they used to watch together. By the time he'd hit the cues, I'd noticed that some of the guests had left. Should I be writing all of this down? I think you'll be fine. Unless Olivia's even changed music tastes in the last 3 years. 3? Aren't you talking to her these days? I mean, not as much as I used to. It's been a while since we had a sit-down. Wait, but Mia came and told us that you wanted to talk with her at lunch. I have no idea what you're talking about. Huh. I thought you were above gossip, Inko. Sorry. Anyway, Olivia and I don't talk much, but I think we should. Hell, if I was around more, I could have helped you two get to know one another sooner. Maybe even... A shrill cry interrupts us. Across the room, the newlyweds are in some altercation. I guess it's the time of the night for the groom to carry the bride out, but for some reason she's riding piggyback like a grade schooler. He laughs to himself maniacally while she complains and holds onto his hair to keep balance. Well, that relationship isn't going to last. Inko? Yeah, sorry. Back on track, what's important is that you always be mindful of her condition. Her condition? You know what I mean. Olivia absolutely hates special treatment, and it can get to a point where that in itself is a burden that weighs down her friends. Refusing to accept help to the point she becomes a problem for those around her. Ben sighs. I would know. Are you talking about how Olivia tries to do things on her own? Yeah, like, for all the times I've tried to help her out, she just gets all pouty and silent as if I was stepping on her toes. No wonder people try to avoid her, you know? You can't just keep pushing people away. I care about Olivia, but she doesn't do herself any favors. Truth be told, I'm a bit excited to hear this from you. If you could get through to her, we could be friends again. I'd definitely do it right this time. I don't want to impose anything on her, that wouldn't be right. Well, see, that's exactly what you want to avoid. Otherwise, your relationship is going to be one-sided. Groom best reference for real? Yeah, you guys are about to see. The relationships are all about mutual respect for one another. Anything less than that is unreasonable. Without that understanding, it's doomed to fail. And one thing to understand Olivia is that her condition needs special considerations, ones that she doesn't fully agree with. So you'll have to account for that from her. Otherwise, it won't work out. Is that why you two stopped talking? Alright, you boys ready to pack up? Pretty long night, huh? Our teacher looks haggard as he walks up to us. His wings are dragging on the floor, and he's propping himself up with one of the light stands we brought. Despite his exhaustion, he's grinning wildly. You two enjoy your first work experience? Oh, absolutely, Mr. Eatacan. I managed to load up both of the memory cards you gave me, and I even managed to try out the different kinds of lenses you had brought. Good to hear, Ben. What about you, Inko? Well, I chose to call Damien, by the way. I know that's not the best for Inko's career, but I figured it was better for Olivia. If I'm being honest with you, I wasn't on my A game tonight. Well, I suppose it's a tough order to start with. So many things to account for, and... no, I meant that I didn't really get that many good shots, Mr. Eatacan. I didn't even finish the first card you'd given me. I see. Well, when we go through these next week, I'm sure they'll be fine. Oh, definitely. The groom saunters up, it's the monarch, but a dinosaur. The groom saunters up with a huge grin on his face, slinging an arm around our teacher's shoulders. I can't wait to see these. Eadacan straightens up and shrugs the arm off, turning to the newly married man. You'll see them when you see them. My team still needs to go through all the pictures and weed out the chaff. Aw, come on, T. Can't you give your buddy a preview or something? Eadacan sighs a bit. Hey, it's your special day. Ben, could you go fetch the laptop and the card reader? Yes, sir. Inko, while he's doing that, can you start packing up everything into the trunk? Sure thing, Mr. Eadacan. Before I turn away to start, the tired Taro takes the camera from me. We can sit at that table over there. The two older men head off, leaving Ben and I to get started unpacking everything up. While Ben and I are busy dismantling the multitude of standing flashes and lamps, the bridegroom and Mr. Eadacan sit at a cleaned-up table with a laptop before them. I wonder if the Dr. Girlfriend dinosaur actually has Dr. Girlfriend's voice. I can't really make out what they're saying, but I can kind of tell based on the way the three switch between quietly focused and laughing softly. By the time the back of the car is loaded up, the last of the wedding party has departed. Nothing left to do, Ben and I linger a bit behind the group. Think about it, alright? My advice. Olivia does need help. If you're really aiming to ask her out, keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll keep it in mind. Thanks, Ben. No problem. And we're done. Yeah, don't want to keep the missus waiting too long. Not tonight. Blah. Alright, good night, everyone. He points to me for a moment. And good luck to you, little guy. Be seeing you, Mal. The groom saunters off. You two ready to go? Yeah, I'm pretty beat. My legs are killing me. It feels like my shins are about to explode. Better get used to that pain, Inko. Plenty more of that to come once we start doing all-day events like sports matches or air shows. Any advice you can give me to avoid the pain? Ben taps his chin. Comfy shoes, good soles, and plenty of squats to build up your leg strength. Maybe also going out for power walks and jogs to really build muscles. Great. Even when I pick a career choice that doesn't involve physical activity, I still somehow wind up having to exercise in order to be successful. That's life. Either way, it's not long before we climb into the car and begin our journey back to the school. I settle into the rhythmic motions of the car as it glides along the road. The cityscape of Volcadera Bluffs passes by, and I can't help but admire it. The mood is quickly killed, however, as Ben calls a certain red-scaled girl. I don't understand what Ben sees in Mia. She's an absolute menace. The saccharine lovey-dovey talk makes my head hurt, and I can guess by his expression that Eadacan feels the same way. He changes the subject by asking if my parents can pick me up. Looks like I'll be taking the late-night metro home. Yeah, Inko's parents are supposedly in the picture, but we've never seen them. They're literally never at his house. Still, I had fun today. Even though we're pretty far into the fall season, today is a nice day out. There's a storm coming in later today with a cold front, so the temperatures outside are bearable enough to relax in. One last respite before the unforgiving cold of winter settles in. I decide to celebrate by eating lunch outside. After a good bit of prodding, Olivia joined me. Inko, it's too cold. It'll freeze my veins solid. It's 70 degrees, and you already agreed. Calm down. We step out into the chilled air. She pulls the drawstrings of her hoodie taut, yanking it shut again. Ah. When I try moving her along, she starts dragging her tail on the ground. You're secretly enjoying this, aren't you? That hoodie isn't hiding your silly little grin. There's a table by the edge of the yard that looks pretty good. Now it's just the two of us, alone, sitting at a picnic table in complete silence. Ingenious one-liners flow through my head like a slam poetry champion, and yet I can't work up the will to say anything about the wedding to her. I guess there's always later. So, Olivia. The Gator lifts her head from her roast beef sandwich, staring directly at me. What's up? How about this weather? Seriously? Yeah, seriously. I'm not used to coastal towns, so this is a nice change of pace. Well, it's pretty chilly. A part of why we're the only ones out here. It's pretty empty out here today. Maybe it's like a human dino thing, more acclimated to snow. Even with the hoodie, it's a lot colder than I'd like. Oh, well, why'd you agree to come outside with me? Well, you wanted to, and I... Olivia's lips quiver a little and she tries to work out the words to say. Her mouth isn't up to the task as a flush of scarlet spreads across her cheeks and makes her pouting lips glow. Hey, stop looking at me like that. I mean, where are you from, then? The Midwest. The Midwest? The Midwest. Only loons come from the Midwest. Oh, come on, that's not true. Alright, what was it like, then? A lot of empty promises, nothing worth talking about. What was St. Hammond like before I showed up? That's their school. Oh, horrible. Everybody here sucked. Well, they still do, I guess, but seriously, most of the faculty had a stick up their ass and the student body was holding on for dear life. I'd do anything to get out of this place if I got to take you and Damien with me. Wow. Colorful. Olivia and I freeze at the familiar voice. The sound of stone grinding on stone echoes throughout the courtyard as we turn our heads towards whoever said that. Principal Scalar stands just as still as us, her face burning red. I can't tell if this character is a reference to any other media, or if they're completely original. Though her jaw is moving, teeth grinding exceptionally loud as she looks at Olivia. Next to her stands a large whale dressed in formal attire. Okay, so that dude is from the school district, and he's here auditing the school. I guess Mr. Ferris is still doing that inspection. And did he hear? What were you saying just now about student morale, Principal Scalar? He doesn't even look up from his clipboard as he begins jotting down something with a pencil. I said had. Ever since Principal Scalar took over as our principal, things have gotten better. Olivia's words do little to make Scalar's face lessen in both color intensity and heat. Yeah, I have to say, this school's way better than my old one by at least a country mile. So, Mr. Inco, would you say that your time in St. Hammond since your transfer has been both fruitful and comfortable? I mean, compared to my old school, I've met good friends, I've had excellent teachers and classes, and I've had an all-around good time. Also, the cafeteria food is great here. It actually tastes like food and not microwave reheated gruel. Mr. Ferris gives me a nod and writes something else on his notepad before turning to face Olivia. What about you, Miss Olivia Halford, was it? Got any more comments regarding St. Hammond? Do be honest, if you please. Olivia shoots me a quick glance before taking a deep breath. Well, the school needs more handicap access ramps. Also, the elevator in the main building is busted. Sometimes I get stuck for a few minutes. Also, our PE teacher steals hats from the students and hoards them in the equipment shed. I can almost feel the heat emanating from Principal Scalar's face as soon as Olivia finishes lodging her complaints. I wouldn't want to be around her after Ferris's visit is over. For his part, Mr. Ferris only nods and writes more down on his clipboard before turning back to face Scalar, who does her best to turn the grimace into some kind of smile. It seems like there are some issues left over from the previous administration. Are you already taking care of correcting the issues Miss Halford has pointed out? Principal Scalar nervously clears her throat. I've already sent in a request to the district to have the elevator looked at by a technician. Mr. Ferris nods and writes something else on his clipboard before clicking his pen and stuffing it into his front suit pockets. I'll have to talk to the superintendent about that request next time I'm at the office. What about this PE teacher Miss Olivia mentions? Oh, Mr. Coach Solly? Ferris raises an eyebrow. That's his legal name. I know. He checks the page, then sighs a bit. Right. Mr. Coach Solly. Ferris turns to face me. Well, that's enough about St. Hammond for the time being. Mr. Inco, how would you say things are going for you? Not just as a student, but as a growing adult. This school has really helped me learn a lot, sir. I respect the efforts of the students and the faculty alike for their efforts in making me feel welcome. It's much more refined than my old school, at least. Wow, you might as well ask him for a letter of recommendation already. Huh? That's not what I was doing, Olivia. Olivia doesn't even respond to me, instead laughing quietly to herself. I'll keep that in mind. The Leviathan finishes jotting down something on his clipboard, finally turning to Principal Scalar. I think I have everything I need for the time being. So, Mr. Ferris, why don't we adjourn to the faculty lounge? Of course, we can go over your future budgetary plans over a nice cup of coffee. The inspector turns away, Principal Scalar lagging behind him with a look of pure misery on her face. TF2 hat joke, yeah. I don't know much about Team Fortress 2, but I know that hats are a big deal. Like, instead of skins, they just have different hats. I wish he'd done this freshman year. Ah, man, it's that dude. Okay, if you spam comments, I am going to mute you, alright? With a huff and a frown, Olivia stabs at her lunch tray, treating her Caesar salad like a voodoo doll. Let's see. How do I block this person? Let's see. Spam. I'll figure it out if he keeps doing that. Well, look on the bright side. She levels her silver eyes on me, but remains focused on treating her salad like its namesake. It's senior year and we're about halfway through. So we only have to put up with this place for a couple more months. Do I want to prank Toasty? No, I do not. That dude's cool. He's got a lot to deal with. He's working, he's going to school, he's got a cat to raise. She lances the largest piece of chicken, twisting her spork roughly. And? Then what? Then what? I guess, I don't really have any concrete plans for after school. What do you mean? You mentioned all that stuff about making a name for yourself? I mean, yeah, when I first got here, that was the goal. But honestly, I haven't considered what I was going to do to get here. It's my turn to toy with my meal. You? I plan on getting an art degree. Whoa, really? Online, of course. Oh. Not like I have any other options. The only time I'm worth anything is when there's a brush in my hand. The only classes I'm really passing, too. I nod my head in understanding, but... She's talking about her future, but it sounds more like resignation than a declaration. I at least have something, even if the path to my goal is vague. The morose mood leaves me at a loss for words. Damn it, I was hoping to actually use this time to... I don't know. I wanted to talk to Olivia and, ask her something? Or something like that. Stupid Mr. Ferris and his workplace politics dampening the mood. The air between us is awkward as we pick at our lunch, and even after the bell rings, we're forced to finish eating. It's still weird. Even when I ask if Olivia would like a push to history, she just remains silent in thought. Olivia has been quiet for about 5 minutes now. Even though 5 minutes isn't that long a time, Olivia had grown so much chattier as of late, so the silence felt just a bit off-putting to me. No, I do not play Fortnite. I'm not really into first-person shooters. The closest thing I've played to one is Warframe, which is not a first-person shooter. A part of me couldn't help but wonder if it's a cold shoulder directed at me, or just remaining nerves from that last conversation. Oh. Hi, Hey, Car, cool. I don't have much time. I enjoyed your Snoot game playthrough and analysis video. Looking forward to the next analysis. Thanks. I finished recording the audio for Ending 2 and Ending 1 today, which was pretty rough to get through, honestly. I'm looking forward to making Ending 4. Hopefully my comment didn't throw you off too far with the character development relating to the scores. Oh no, it totally makes sense. I didn't address that in the Ending 3 video, and I absolutely should have. Thanks for that. No use just thinking about it. So, penny for your thoughts, Olivia? Oh, right. Sorry, guess I'm not here right now. What were you thinking about exactly? Olivia lets out a sigh and turns her head upward so that her eyes meet mine. I really got to thinking about what we were talking about earlier, how it seems like neither one of us knows what exactly we'll be doing after school is over. Oh, right, yeah, that. Why are you plugging yourself in someone else's stream? I'm assuming that this person is very young, probably like a teenager, so... As long as he doesn't spam chat, it's okay for him to stay. I hadn't really given much thought to the fact that I had essentially dropped a bombshell on both of us. Not that I really stopped to think about it, though. The idea that neither one of us really knows what to do after graduation is concerning. Most seniors at least have a small idea of what they'll want to do afterwards. At least I think. Liz had made a full chart and timeline for herself. I mean, I always figured I'd go to college. This dude is 10? Do your homework. I mean, I always figured I'd go to college, but that feels so basic, for a lack of a better word. There should be some kind of grander plan on what to do with the next big step in life. University, a career, maybe even starting some kind of family. Those are the kind of plans that come to mind. They're all just simple platitudes at the end of the day, though. Is it even worth making plans? Oh, it is summer. The more I think about it, the more likely it is that something stupid just comes out of left field and wrecks everything. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans and all. So maybe all I can really do is say live in the moment. I always hated that sort of thinking. Just be a sitting duck for life to take pot shots at me. Yeah, let me see. I'm not sure how to specifically block people from chat. I can remove messages. Chat filter, community moderation, participant mode. Limits participants to specific people I approve. Nah, this dude is trolling 100%. A 100%. Let me... hide user on this channel. There we go. Alright. YouTube's interface needs some improvement. It should not be that difficult to figure out how to mute somebody. Just be a sitting duck for life to take pot shots at me? Just live pretending that death can't show up and take me at any time? Hey, it's Olivia. Oh, it's Death. And friend. Olivia stiffens in her chair. Oh, hey, Mia. Olivia's words are a hiss as she tries to face away from the crimson-scaled girl. Her hands shakily strain against the wheels of her chair, slowly turning it to... Got a couple of questions to ask you, Olivia. Would you like to humor me for a bit? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't mind. The pterosaur saunters up, and with a sway of her hip pushes me aside as she takes Olivia's reins from me. What the hell? You're insane if you think we're going with you anywhere. We? She looks down to Olivia and back at me. We. He's funny. We're just going for a little girl talk. No boys allowed. Sorry. You're up for that, right, Liv? She puts a hand on her shoulder and cocks an eyebrow back at me like she knows something. So, yeah, we'll just be a moment. Don't worry that pretty little head of yours. I would not let those two go off alone together. I'm left gawking and confused as the two head off in another direction. Olivia doesn't seem to know what to say or do either, so she just goes along with the parasaur wheeling her away. Part of me wants to give chase, but the side eye that Mia sends back forces me to stop. I feel useless as I watch the two turn the corner. My thoughts of what I want to do, going after the pair, are betrayed by my body, still frozen by the icy glare from Mia. Damn it, I'll just get to class and ask what this was all about later. By the time I get to Prockling's history class, I'm half expecting to find Olivia already waiting for me, some kind of remark primed and ready to be spoken at me. But instead, she isn't here. I reluctantly take my seat, tapping my foot impatiently. Even when the bell comes and goes, there's still no sign of her. Shit. I shouldn't have let Olivia go with her alone. What the hell was I thinking? I really don't want to cut class, but I can't afford anything bad happening to her. Nope, I can't sit and do nothing. I shoot my hand up into the air, causing Miss Prockling to pause mid-lecture. Yes, Mr. Nito? Miss Prockling, can I please be excused? Why? Class barely started a few minutes ago. Because I... shat myself. I'm halfway out the door already. Where did they go? There's not a soul to be found anywhere. If I were a bitch, where would I harass somebody in secret? Shoot. Whatever's between them, I hope it isn't turning physical. I think if you took the wheelchair out of the equation, Olivia could probably take Mia in a fight, but... it's in the equation, so... My hands clench tighter and tighter as I focus on walking faster. Finally, something snaps me out of my trance, the faint sound of squeaking metal. I've heard that sound before. I turn towards the source, just beyond the door of a nearby classroom. Judging by the paraphernalia covering the door, I think this is the algebra room. I grab the handle and haphazardly throw the door open, praying that I'm not about to rudely interrupt a teacher for the second time today. Looks like shit. How am I? Should be happy it's done. The two heads turn to me in a mix of anger and surprise. And they're the heads of the girls I was looking for. It's like a sudden three-way standoff. I was definitely not intended to be a factor in whatever this is. I really should have thought about that before barging in. Thank Raptor Jesus she's okay. What the fuck are you doing here? I could ask you two the same question. Oh, Mike. Look, Baldy, now's not the time. Don't talk to him like that. Yeah, or what? I told you not to be followed. You were there when we left. He just heard you screaming like a maniac. I've been forgotten already. Hey. Why are you two in an empty classroom yelling at each other? The two fall deafeningly silent, unwilling or unable to speak. I notice a piece of paper in Mia's hand. It looks like something's drawn on it. The style is different, but it's unmistakably one of Olivia's works. Mia, why do you have her drawing? The parasaur stops blinking for a few seconds before shoving the paper in her jacket. Before I can question it any further, Olivia speaks up. Inko, why did you come here? You seemed like you were in trouble? How touching. Well, we're all in trouble now. We? Yeah, dumbass. I don't have time for this. Hot Wheels, fill him in. What's the big issue? Olivia claws at her armrest again. She looks ready to cry. Hey, where'd all your vicious bravado go? Are you afraid to tell him? Afraid of what he'll think? Shut up. Precious, fine, I'll say it. Mia turns to me with a malicious grin. I know about what this prick did during the yearbook art contest. Yeah, Olivia submitted her own work under Inko's name because she thinks she gets special treatment for being in a wheelchair. And that's why people praise her work so much. And they have really serious rules about cheating and plagiarism. Now, ordinarily, I wouldn't give two shits, but then it hit me. Holy shit, she can just get away with it. How crazy is that? She pauses, goading me to say otherwise, but I bite my tongue. Like a shark smelling blood, she starts to circle me, continuing her taunts. Then, one thing leads to another, and now we're helping each other out. After all, if the school found out, it would leave a permanent mark on her unemployable ass. What? Yours too, probably, since you're involved and all. My teeth creak painfully from my clenched jaw, yet the blood drains from my face. I'm talking about her record, you mouth breather. Art's her big break, right? Skipping the whole rigmarole, the gist of it's simple. So Olivia draws up some BS group projects for me and some friends of mine, turns them in, and I make sure the whole incident goes away. I manage to earn back some of the feeling in my consciousness, just long enough to defy her. But that's blackmail and cheating. That's wrong. Also, what's the point of going to an art school to learn how to do art? And then cheating on your assignments? Oh my god, that's fucking precious. Mia blinks a few times before turning to look at Olivia, and then back to me, and then back to Olivia. What, are you disappointed in her now? I bet you made her pinky swear she would never do anything like that again. She leans closer to me, faux whispering. Well, sorry to break the news, Inko, but your friend here is a liar. Don't listen, I wouldn't be... She was threatening me. Threatening? Honey, if we were swapped, you would see my ass hang. All I'm doing is making things better for the both of us. Not my fault you tried to get away with cheating. You'd think a cripple like you would have more shame than that. Holy shit. I watch Olivia's eyes start twitching. Mia's really starting to get to her. I can't let her keep talking to her like that. Mia, just stop it, okay? She really doesn't need this right now. Can't you both just walk away and pretend this never happened? Shit, Inko, you're good. You hear that, Olivia? Wait, but I didn't mean... Olivia is staring at me with a look of betrayal that threatens to tear my heart in two. God damn it, why can't I stop talking for once? Mia waves me off, turning to face her target once more. I bet you'd love to walk away from this, but things just don't work out that way, do they? Oh, that's why you didn't want Inko knowing. You're still a dirty cheater. Shut up! Oh, relax, it's not a big deal. No, I'm sick of this. You already admitted it. Art's my big break. You're only doing this because art is all I have. Your record is fucked. You lose nothing if we get caught. It's Tuesday for you. But me? It's all I have. You're embarrassing yourself. You know I can't lift or run or carry or dance or fucking anything you do on a daily basis without even thinking about it. I can't ever do anything else because of these fucking legs and this fucking chair. Why can't any of you just leave me alone? I just want to draw for God's sake. Mia rolls her eyes and takes a step closer to Olivia. That's a nice outburst and all, sweetie, but I really thought you were smarter than this. Olivia wipes away her eyes with her sleeves. What? Mia takes another step forward. Think, handbag. Would I really go through the trouble of making you do this junk for middling grades? If your work were crap, you wouldn't have a record to hold over you. Everyone knows you're the best artist in this place. You're just a retard about it. Good lord. Olivia's mouth hangs open, but no words come out. You're the kind of idiot to let this sort of comment get to you, so let me be the first to say. Congratulations, Olivia. You have a fan. Anyways, Inko. Oh crap. Distractions aside, you're in on it now too. You don't want Olivia to starve now, would you? Her words, not mine. Say a damn word about any of this, and she's doomed. Do you understand me? I try to muster up words of defiance, but just past Mia's stare of death, I spot Olivia's horrified expression. Hello, Baldy. I'm waiting for your answer, Skinny. I honestly don't know what to say or do in this situation. No. Excuse me? Let me think this over with Olivia. Think this over? You dense or something? This is a simple yes or no question. You can't seriously frickin'... Mia pinches the bridge of her snoot and lets out a tired sigh. Fine. The two of yous talk it over and reach some kind of resolution. Does she have a New York accent that I'm not picking up on? But that don't change the fact of what I said earlier, Inko. Don't say I don't do nothing nice. But think carefully, amigo. You both got a hell of a lot more to lose than I do. Mia only gives me and Olivia one final glance before unceremoniously leaving the room. Mia has a lot of fans, and I really don't understand why. It takes me a bit to recover my thoughts. I never thought Mia would go this far. And Olivia right now, she must be... I stand up from the floor, slowly approaching the alligator. She looks like a mess. Why? Why'd you have to come in here? I'm sorry, I was just so worried about what Mia could have been doing to you, and I wanted to make sure you were alright. Olivia grips her armrests. I was alright. I had it handled with Mia. But to basically be her slave, doing all of her work? Not all of it, just whatever she needs to pass. I take the seat next to her. There. She threatened me that she'd go to Scalar and spill everything. And if Scalar knew that I swapped the art, then she'd know that it was with you. I couldn't let her do that to us, so I got desperate. I told her I'd do anything she wanted. That's how I got mixed up with her. I let out a deep and heavy sigh. Olivia, I can understand why, but... I heard how Mia was treating you before I came in. Even when you're doing her work to save her skin, she's still treating your art, and more importantly, you, like garbage. My words rip through the Gator girl's fragile heart, her face contorting into a fierce snarl even as her eyes grow wet. You're miserable. You know that. Olivia looks away from me, her face scrunching up as tears well in her eyes. I don't know what to do. And I don't even know I can trust her to keep her word. And now that you know what's going on, Mia has a noose around both our necks. The gravity of the situation settles in. It feels like something in me is both frozen over and ablaze. There's only 6 months left in the semester. It's not like she's asking for something impossible. Her eyes regain some fire as she smiles. I'll just have to tough it out. Keep making art to shut her up until this whole stupid thing can blow over. She's been going through this for so long, and she's still... That's just... I'm out of options, and so is she. I just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. Why not tell Scalar about what Mia's making you do? Scalar? Are you out of your mind? You saw how she handles things around here, especially with that auditor breathing down her neck. I'm trying to avoid getting caught. Right. Okay. Iatakan? What route is this, or is it your first playthrough? Hello, Scout Waffle. It is my first playthrough. I don't know what route I'm on. I hope it's not the bad one. I don't think it's the worst one, but it might not be the best one either. The one choice I think I made that was definitely wrong was at the pool party, I told Olivia that her family needs her out there, when maybe I should have just invited her outside. For a split second, I see her mask crack, and her real worry evident in those silver eyes shaking. No. Olivia makes a show of clearing her throat. Mr. Iatakan doesn't need to hear this either. You know he'd be able to... I can do this on my own. Her balled-up fists quake wildly after they slam onto her arms rests, and the Gator girl does her best to hide her wince. I really don't think we can fix this if we're not working together. There's nothing to fix. I told you, I have it under control. Just please, Inko, I need you to trust me on this. Don't ruin this for me. Yeah, thank you. Please, no spoilers. I had a message at the top of the chat about that, but then it got a little longer. I do trust you. Her voice is softening as she's been fully drained now. I can handle it, I told you. Her fists unfurl and continue shaking. I take one of her hands, ignoring her indignant sputters as I delicately cradle it in my palm. Her protests die down into a pained whine when my thumb ever so slightly presses down on a joint. All this time you've been doing your best, Olivia. My soft words draw out an even softer breath from her. Mia's had me drawing for her group almost daily. It must hurt a lot after so long. Maybe it does. But it's nothing I can't work through. Now she's gonna give herself carpal tunnel because Mia wants to cheat at school. This is not good. Why can't you trust me to help, then? It's not that I don't trust you, Inko. It's just that I did trust everyone else. So please, stop asking about fixing me. Or fixing things, I mean. Is that what this is about? Olivia's burning out at this point. She's already hurt badly. I can feel her hand still shaking. It's beyond the point that either of us alone can handle. I let go of Olivia's hand, watching as she takes back her hand and settles it against her chest. Not gonna lie, I was going to watch Dr. House, but I can't avoid watching someone's first playthrough of Wani. Aw, thanks, I appreciate that. House is a really good show. I let go of Olivia's hand, watching as she takes back her hand and settles it against her chest. I hook a nearby chair leg with my foot and drag the seat closer. Close enough that I can sit down right next to the baryonyx. Inko? I find that being next to her like this makes it easier for what I'm about to say. Breathe in, breathe out. Meeting her eyes once again, I speak my honest thoughts. Mr. Iadican can help Olivia. Her teeth grind together, as though contemplating mauling my face off. Please hear me out. I want to trust you, Inko, but I'm just scared that Iadican will hate me forever for this. He's the only one that's ever made me feel like my art is worth something. I can't lose him. Look, we can get you out of this. Of course Iadican will understand, even go to bat for you. And if you're the one to speak up, it means you're the one getting back at Mia. She won't have power over you. I can't give it all up like this. How can I trust you with my entire future? You have nothing to lose. I have everything. Can you trust Iadican? Will he really just let that happen? Mia has no reason to not throw you under the bus. Does he? Of course not. Mr. Iadican he's the only teacher that never gave up on me. I'm here with you too. You're not alone, Olivia. But you need to accept our help. Please. Olivia looks me in the eyes for a few seconds before sharply snapping her face downward. Her body then begins to quiver, almost as if she trembles with a mixture of cold and fear. Olivia. I get up from my chair and reach out to grasp her shoulder to try and comfort her somewhat. It's okay. I'm here for you. Olivia's shaking lessens, giving me hope that my words were starting to reach her, but not 2 seconds after those thoughts cross my mind, Olivia's shaking resumes once again. The shaking's followed by sniffling, at which point I notice tears rolling down Olivia's snout and falling into her lap. Before I can finish my words, Olivia lunges forward and wraps her arms around my abdomen, bringing me forward and burying her face into my stomach. Aww. At which point she begins to let out what I can only describe as pain-filled wails. At first I'm left utterly frozen in place, hands raised and eyes wide. Nothing in my life has ever prepared me for a situation such as this. No, Inko, you know what to do. I place my other hand on Olivia's shoulder and slowly take a single knee, bringing my eye to level with her. Then without saying a word, I tighten my embrace, allowing her arms to wrap around my neck as I wrap my arms around hers. My waist is pulled closer to by her boa-like tail that's become an impromptu belt harnessing me to the Gator girl. There's a distinct thumping on my chest, rhythmic and relaxing. The realization that it's her heart sets my face ablaze, but also brings a smile to my lips. I close my eyes and let myself become lost in the warmth of Olivia's embrace. Aww. When we break apart, I check on our time limit. My phone says there's still 20 minutes before school is out. Hopefully Iadican has a free period right now. You did the thing! Oh yeah, he hugged the Gator! Stream over. Just kidding. You ready? Olivia gives a small nod. Yeah. I get up and start towards the door. The door held open with the back of my shoe. I look back to her. As Olivia wheels over, she grunts with each push. Oh, crap, I'm an idiot. Once she reaches me, Olivia gives me a very meaningful look. Though I don't really get its intent until her tail wraps itself around my wrist. Oh, right. Taking Olivia's reins for her, we start towards our art teacher's room in companionable silence. Man, I can't wait to just go home and relax. Maybe open a bag of chips. Olivia's tremoring has fallen to 2 on the Richter scale, so that's nice. She's seen enough Mia to last a while. Then again, so have I. She'd probably kill us if she saw us sneaking off. Velaik in the real world. Oh, hey, Velaik. Yo, I'd love to watch, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. Can you did more streams? Yeah, I am streaming more often. I probably am going to do this again at the same time next week, Thursday. And then on Friday, tomorrow, I'll be playing Spyro again. I think he uploads the VODs. Yeah, I'm going to. This is actually my first time streaming it. My other playthroughs were recorded and then edited. Then again, so have I. She'd probably kill us if she saw us sneaking off. We're near the end of it all. It's nearly over. Hope your day's going good. Olivia's gripping my wrist pretty hard. I guess she's still pretty tense. Say, maybe there's a massage place around here. That'd be pretty nice right now. Wait a second. Just the sounds of Olivia and I walking through the halls? Something ancient awakens in me. An icy chill races down my spine as if there's a knife poised just behind my back. The Gator girl tenses, head stiffly turning. Her pupils slowly shift to mine, and their contraction to pinpoints bring attention to the danger my ancestral instincts are warning me of. Oh shit. Sup? You two trying to run a... Fight or flight reflexes kick in. Zero thought on my end. My body chose to just book it. Ooh. The animation is really fluid every time it switches to... Oh, shit! Okay, I've seen that face in thumbnails. I didn't know the context. Oh my god, run. Holy shit! Get to the elevator! It couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Wham! For a moment, I wonder if the deafening noise of the metal doors being hit is just from me punching it in rage or accidentally slamming into it chasing after us. When I catch you, I will eviscerate you and every last thing you love. Fuck. The elevator finally begins its descent downwards. I exhale deeply. Olivia gasps for breath. My arm stings from Olivia's razored grip. Good thing I have a jacket. Her claws have shredded the sleeve. I think it may have even drawn blood. I shake my arm a bit, and Olivia retracts her hands apologetically. Sorry. Oh god, are you okay? No, I'm not. What happens when we reach the bottom? Mia will be waiting for us. Olivia removes the key from its slot. It won't open. Just don't make any noise. The elevator reaches the bottom. Just as Olivia said, without the key, the outmoded chamber simply powers down. Silence. There's a small gap under the door letting light in. There's nobody there. We sit in the dark, empty cabin for what feels like minutes. I'm pressed close to Olivia while we wait it out. I can feel her tail wrap around my ankle, which thankfully won't rip my clothing apart. The phrase, 7 minutes in heaven, surfaces in my mind and is buried immediately. It's a bit warm in here. Shh. Heavy, rapid footsteps zone in on us, accompanied by the sound of ripping paper. Mia's destroying everything on the walls. You fuckers had better still be in there. If you cowards run away, so help me, Raptor Jesus. She's right in front of the door. I hear her heavy breathing and soft thuds as she attempts to put her ear to the door a few times. I try to stay as silent as possible, but I'm afraid that the homicidal parasaur can hear my heart hammering in my chest in pants-crapping horror. Oops, I bumped the mic. Mia, with no intention to vent her frustrations verbally, resorts to the next best thing. Physical therapy. We're surrounded by the sounds of ripping paper, dented lockers, and drywall fracturing. On occasion, something hits the elevator door again. Olivia and I don't dare move. I hear other voices. Mia's drawn attention to herself. Who the fuck are you looking at? Do you want one less horn? Find someone, quick. I fucking swear I've had it with that fucking luggage case on wheels. Good luck painting when you're eating through a straw, bitch legs croc. Was that it? Silence. What was that sound? Was that a taser? It sounds like a series of sharp cracks. Oh, hell yeah. Tase her. Tase her. Tase her. Hey, whoa, hey, it's all cool. It's not what it looks like. It's, Rapid footsteps echo down the hall. Is she gone? What the fuck could have scared Mia like that? There's a light knock on the elevator door. Hey, anyone in there? He sounds exhausted, but it's definitely Yatakan. By now my eyes have adjusted to the light. Olivia's relief is palpable and shared, my body finally relaxing and practically melting against the wall of the tiny elevator. We're going to have to tell Yatakan. It's safe to come out. It's all clear. Well, it looks like a stick of dynamite went off out here, but otherwise it's fine. I look at Olivia, who stares at the key in her hands. Iatakan is the goat for sure. She moves to unlock the elevator, but hesitates. I think our teacher is able to sense it, since his tired voice carries the weight of his worry. Everything will be okay, I promise. But she doesn't put it in. She just stares. You don't know that, Olivia whispers softly. I can barely make it out. God, please. Putting the key in and opening up means telling Iatakan everything. There's no way Mia's letting this slide. Nothing's a safe bet. Nothing can be said for sure. She can't do nothing, and she can't do anything either. So she looks to me, as if I'd have an answer. Missed the animated scene by a couple of minutes, it appears. Yeah, Andrew Parson, unfortunately. It's pretty good, though. This is going to be posted as a VOD later if you really want to see me react to it. As if I'd have an answer. The key is offered to me, delicately held between two of her claws. Don't make me choose! No, she's got to do it herself. My hands cup hers, eliciting a small gasp from the girl. Even with the darkened lenses of my shades, I can make out her moon-silver eyes filled with all the worries of this past month. Worries she'd endured because of our friendship. And possibly more. Inko. My fingers curl softly, pushing the key back into her palm. My lips move, but no sound comes out. He'll understand, Olivia. Either from my unspoken words or from my comforting grip, Olivia is able to gather her courage. We share a simple nod, and her hand finally moves to the panel. With the key inserted and twisted, the dark room shudders briefly before the metal door finally starts to slide open. We're greeted by the sight of our teacher, looking very haggard, his brow slick with sweat and holding some strange black rod. Is it a cattle prod? Olivia reels back at the sight of the odd baton. Thanks for saving us, Mr. Iatakan. Don't thank me just yet. I'm gonna need an explanation for all of this. So is Principal Scalar, for that matter. He steps aside and motions us out of the elevator with a wave of the broad stick. Come along now. Give the janitor some time to take care of this mess. Holy shit, it looks like Mia tried to destroy everything within her reach in the hallway. On the ceiling, a pipe is leaking water intended for fountains and toilets. A group of dinos in overalls round the corner, looking absolutely pissed. Our teacher waves at them and begins escorting us to his room. All the adrenaline has faded now, and I can feel the acute pain in my arm. Olivia's hand reaches back behind her head to the arm she had grabbed, and her fingers delicately loop around the spot. She looks back, her mouth shut tight, but her sympathetic eyes telling me she's sorry. I nod back with a comforting smile. Sure, it hurt, but I knew she didn't mean it. We look forward again to the door of Iatakan's classroom. Olivia sighed and resigned herself to explaining everything to our teacher. Olivia looked ready to collapse. She had taken the better part of an hour explaining Mia's extortion in full detail to Mr. Iatakan. I grab Olivia's canteen and hand it to her. She greedily chugs the entire thing, gasping after rubbing her sore throat. That's a good idea. Stay hydrated. Hold on, I'm gonna go look what you've done in the past. In your BRB. Okay. It was hard to get a read on what our teacher was thinking. His brow was furrowed, his fingers steepled, and he was muttering to himself. Finally, with a deep sigh, he stands from his desk and looks at the exhausted girl. I had a feeling something was going on, but to this extent? You should have come forward sooner. I know, but we're here now, aren't we? Fair point. Still, I'm concerned that you thought nobody would notice. I didn't think anybody would care to look. Those assignments go through dozens of eyes, you know. What do you mean? Your style, Olivia. I saw it from a mile away, and I was just waiting for you to talk to me. You knew? Why didn't you say anything? I wanted it to come from you. Don't worry, I'm not going to lecture you. Raptor Jesus knows you've had enough of that already. I'm glad you two are okay. Yeah, I thought she was actually gonna kill us. Mr. Iadican shakes his head before he smiles softly at us. Have some faith in the faculty here. We do our best for you. With what we have on Mia now, we can justify watching her like a hawk from here on. Anybody else she was harassing ought to thank you. Are you sure she's actually going to get in trouble for this? At this point, we'd look bad if we didn't punish Mia for this kind of behavior. That's a relief. Come on, you two can hunker here until school clears out. You sure? You were going to stay after like always anyways, right? Yeah. Oh! The loud noise makes me stumble to the floor. Mr. Iadican? Whoops. Iadican looks at the device in his hand. Hi, you're back. Is that a taser? There's a piece of tape on it with something written. Estrus Protocol? So I think I made some wrong choices, probably just because I'm going in blind. But I feel like most of them might have been right. I'm not sure. You would know more than me. Anyway, I'm going to run and get some things done. They're going to want my account on paper pretty soon. May as well knock it out of the way. With no care at all, Mr. Iadican chucks the electric weapon onto his desk before turning to his doorway. Don't burn the place down, all right? Alone, I go sit near the back of the classroom. Looking out the window, I finally let out a huge sigh I'd been holding in. Olivia rolls over to join me, and surprisingly, she's smiling. You're not saying nothing. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You were right, Inko. I could trust him. We sit in silence, just looking out the window. When school's out, we watch the crowd of students going home. I don't see Mia in the crowd, but that doesn't matter. I think, despite it all, Olivia's life is going to be just a bit easier after today. It's good. While students trickle out of the school, Olivia took the chance to unwind. I figured it would be best to let her rest as I saw her drooping eyelids finally shut. She looked cute, just napping idly in her wheelchair, except for the weird bellowing. It was like a snore, except I could feel it vibrating through the floor. With the clouds hiding the sun and the classroom's lights turned off, I could do with some shut-eye too, but I can't bring my eyes closed. Instead, I look out the window. The layer of clouds overhead steadily grows more dense, casting a darker shade on everything. Light raindrops prick against the glass. Crap, I really should have brought my umbrella. As a few minutes go by, they roll in closer and closer, blocking out the sunlight. If Olivia were awake, she'd think it was pretty neat. I look back to her. Maybe I could nap too. Just a little. What was... Oh. My eyes are drawn upward to the heavy clouds in the sky. In moments, the glass of the window is assailed by numerous heavy droplets of rain. Holy moly. The trees outside are billowing almost aggressively. Several small branches are stripped away in the torrential downpour. An umbrella wouldn't help with this. Huh? What? My phone's blaring an alarm. So is Olivia's. Hey, Andrew Parsons. The fact that tasers are considered proper equipment for dealing with dino girls going through mating is a fairly alarming black comedy. Yeah, no, that's crazy. How bad is the PMS? Instructions to shelter in place for several hours. The classroom door is thrust open quickly. Mr. Iadican is back, panting hard, clothes drenched. He takes our moment of surprise to compose himself the best he can. Sorry about that. The faculty is doing a sweep of the campus right now. Apparently there's a monsoon scare. Monsoon? Does that happen here? Iadican gestures to his drenched outfit and out the window as if to ask if Mia had clocked me in the head after all. Right. Are we going to be alright? Oh, of course. Schools are designed to be shelters in the worst of disasters. If anything, you're safer here than at home. But the hallway outside is open, isn't it? I just finished putting the cover up. A cover? Just keep close to the wall, yeah? What do we do now? Iadican shakes his phone at us. Shelter in place. We're all stuck here for a few hours. Olivia reaches into her bag and pulls out her drawing book and a well-used pencil. Actually, why don't you use this time to catch up on some schoolwork? I'm sure you have some work from other classes still pending, and I can't think of a better time to tackle that than now. But today's been rough. Can't I do this or finish my nap instead? That's fine too, but aren't you falling behind grade-wise in some of your other classes? Maybe. Ugh, fine, I'll catch up on some of that work. Iadican gives a single nod and smiles. Olivia puts away her drawing materials and instead pulls out her bulky mathematics books, which she sets on the table with more force than necessary, followed by her notebook. With some hesitation on her part, Olivia sets herself to work. Meanwhile, I bring myself closer to her in case she wants some help with it. After a few minutes, it's clear that her mind and spirit isn't into the work one bit. She constantly fidgets, taps her pen on the table, and looks around the room and out the window. Eventually, she lets out a groan and slams her book shut. Ugh, this sucks. Can I please do something else? Iadican, who had been busying himself with grading paperwork, snaps away from his work, looking at Olivia while rubbing his chin. Well, there is one other thing you could help out with. I would need both of your help with it. Could even consider it a new extra assignment. What do you say? I don't know, today's been pretty rough on Olivia. Absolutely, I'll do it. Anything is better than math, I guess. Alright. Wonderful, it's back here. He starts walking to the back of the room and waves for the two of us to follow him. Whoa, something in the dark room? Aw man, I thought we wouldn't get to do anything in there until the last few weeks of the semester. Are we gonna be getting a head start on this section? Maybe we'll be making prints, learning about C41, and... Huh? Oh, Olivia's poking my back. Quit it with the cinematic gait, you're going too slow. Oops. I shake the excitement off and head into the dark room. Iadican holds the door open for the two of us to enter. The inside glows a vibrant crimson light. Iadican's suit appears to light up in the red lights, as does my shirt. I've only actually been in a dark room once before. This is so cool. I clasp my hands together. So, what are we developing? This is an important job, just for you. Alright, I'm ready for it. What am I developing? Your lower back. There's a click of a switch and the red lights switch to normal lights and properly illuminate the room. There's boxes over there. I need one at each station around the room, but they're too heavy for me. If you can, of course. Legally, I can't make you do any of this. Do I at least get extra credits? You get one of the bags of chips I keep hidden under my desk. Fine. Nice. Come on, Olivia, we should clear the way for him. There actually is something in the box we'll need in a bit. The two move back to the entrance, and I'm faced with the myriad of boxes I'll have to carry. It looks like there's about 10. They're pretty medium-sized, like you could fit a table lamp in them. How heavy can they... Ugh! Thud. Lift with your knees, Inko. This is gonna suck. I look at Olivia, and she already has her phone out and pointed my way. Damn it. I shift my legs to try again. I actually managed to get this thing off the ground. This must weigh at least 70 pounds. What are these loaded with? Bricks? Something like that. Careful, they're fragile. Finally, I get the last box in its place. I pick a chair and collapse in a heap. My muscles are on fire. Though to be honest, I don't know if I could have done all that at the beginning of the year. I guess I'm getting stronger. Iadican walks back into the dark room with a small black toolbox. Oh good, you're done. Come on out and take a breather. That looked tough. I'd rather stay here. Olivia shows up in the doorway behind Iadican. I'm surprised you didn't use the dolly. What dolly? The angry eyebrows are that's a mood. Before you get started with me, Inko, you didn't ask. For the love of... I hate you. That's the spirit. Olivia stifles her laughter into a snickering snort fest. Your mood will improve when you see just what you've been carrying. Oh? He grabs a box cutter from a shelf and slices the top of one open. Our teacher pulls out what looks like a large overhead lamp from the box. Oh, sweet. So that means that you'll be making your own prints for midterms. Looking forward to your E1 Snoot video? Ah, thanks, Imperius662. Yeah, that one is really rough. I finished recording the audio for it. I just gotta Put all the filters on the audio to make it sound good, take out the background noise, then throw it into editing and add visuals. That you'll be making your own prints for midterms. That sounds awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to... But before any of that, these need to be assembled. So I saw all the decisions you made, and I think I know what ending you'll get. Thank you, Scout Waffle. The rest of the parts are taken from the first box and set down meticulously. Olivia's gotten curious as she rolled up to the station and handling one of the funnier-looking pieces. Anywho, here you two go. Wait, two? Yes, two. Don't think I didn't notice you watching Inko so much. The stammered denial from Olivia does nothing to wipe the cheeky grin from our teacher's face. But what about you, Mr. Iatican? I'll be right back. He makes his way to the door again. Get started without me. I need to go fetch some things. Before either Olivia or I can speak up, he's left the room. Olivia already has the box open on her lap. Right then. I grab the folded up instructions and lay it out, seeing the details of the bizarre device fully assembled. Okay, so... thunk. Step 1. Hand me the next piece. Oh, did I scare you? Yes, you scared me. These things are heavy. What if you dropped that on something? I didn't, though. But you could have. And I didn't. Olivia's tail reaches for some brackets, but I grab the limb before she can take them. Hold on, we gotta do things right or the enlarger might not work correctly. She retracts her tail from the table. You're no fun, it's just an oversized lamp. That's a gross oversimplification. You're a gross oversimplification. Iatican's gonna make you use the one you break. Just means I can sketch more, right? Well, it'd mean you can't participate and learn about photography. Photography's your thing, so it doesn't really apply to me much, does it? Well, maybe that's the case for you, but photography's my thing. It's the whole reason I took this class, after all. Oh, sorry. It's nothing. Olivia politely rests her hands in her lap. Her eyes linger on the box of parts. Well... How does it work, then? The print enlarger? She shakes her head. Photography. Like, why the giant lamp thing? It's all digital today, right? Huh. I think that's the first time someone's actually asked me about it. Sure, I've had lots of mid-shower rehearsals explaining my hobbies and their cultural significance to others, but none of that's coming to me right now. It's all about shot composition, and this machine is part of the production of it. Getting the right things in the right place at the right time to evoke a certain feeling. Composition is a thing in painting too, you know. I'm ill-prepared for Olivia's comeback. Yeah, but it's a lot easier to pick the composition you want. You don't have to worry about any factors other than yourself. With photography, you have to build the set to get a good photo. That's the fun of it. But why would you want to limit yourself like that? Why not just draw whatever you're taking a picture of instead? You can express all kinds of things you could never express with a photo. Olivia taps a claw on the imager, the metallic ping echoing through the small room. What sets all this junk apart from just lines on a page? Technique and vision. She smirks at my petulant comment. Fine, I'll show her. I'll prove to you that this takes skill. I hold the lighting portion up, making sure it's at the right angle, and fashion the last portion of the enlarger in. I plug the machine in and flip the switch, happy that it works right and lights up the entire base. Olivia looks at me with confusion as I move to the entrance of the room and flick the light switch, bathing the room bright red again. Going back to our workspace, I pull the developed negatives from my backpack and slot the slide I want to into the carrier. And ta-da! The negative carrier in place in the machine, a blurry gray blob is projected onto the base. What? Give me a minute. I hold the manual under the light to the side of the blob, checking which knob is which and slowly turn them. As the lens and billows shift, the Rorschach test transforms, gaining more definition until finally it becomes a spitting image of the school's front entrance. I can even do this. I take out the negative and place another atop of it before slotting the carrier back in, while also increasing the strength of the light. Oh yeah, I took a photography class in school. Double negatives are really neat. That's how a lot of old fake ghost pictures used to be done. The image displayed is now the entrance with half a dozen semi-transparent students in front of it. What did you do? I overlapped another shot. The backgrounds are the same and doubled up, so I had to intensify the light, otherwise the entrance would be too dim. So? That would take me a few minutes to do, tops. It'd look a lot better, too. She smirks, but I think she's feigning her apathy this time. Her tail gives her away. It's a lot more technical, I guess, but I only knew how to do this kind of stuff from Mr. Iadican's lectures about negatives. What else can you do with this thing? I don't know, but what's that smell? Oh, shit! I pull out the negative carrier and wince at how hot it is. Crap, shit. Olivia's quick to rip the plug from the socket. With my sleeve, I open up the carrier and see I've managed to melt the two negatives together. Aw, man, I was gonna use that. All that work and I go and mess it up trying to prove something. Olivia's never gonna let me live this down. Photography yaps to be so boring for real. Yeah, a little bit. Olivia's never gonna let me live this down. A green Gator girl lays a sympathetic hand on my shoulder to my surprise. Hey, shit happens. I've ruined a lot of paintings in the past too, you know. She takes the rules from the warm metal plate and holds them up to the red light, trying to see through them. And you've got more shots on this thing. But I liked those shots. Then go retake some of them. It's not that easy. Like, it has to be the exact same time and weather and lighting. The abrupt darkness coincides with the vague ambient sound of the ventilation shuddering to a halt. The blackness is all-encompassing. I can't even see Olivia, who I know is right next to me. Inko? Her voice helps me confirm that we're still alive in some fashion. There's a shakiness in her tone, which sends a tense rattle down my spine. Our breathing is the only noise, as if we'd been encapsulated in a void of nothingness. I'm still here. I know that. I plant my hand down to brace her snout. I plant my hand down to brace her shout, feeling the still warm metal of the enlarger base. But, yeah, I guess the school lost power. I feel something cover my hand, and then squeeze. Painfully. Ow. Sorry. The pressure lessens, but she doesn't let go of my fingers. No, it's fine. There's a subtle shake in the scaly limb in my hand, but when I brush my thumb across the limb, it eases. Hey, stop that. Stop what? Just that. Stop that thing you're doing with your hand. I shrug. And then I want to slap my face when I realize she can't see that. Alright. Standing here in the darkness of the dark room isn't getting us anywhere. We should go and find... Olivia, Inko. Ah! My instincts kick in. I hop back, to make space between us and the killer. I turn my back to them, to become a defensive wall. I wrap my arms around Olivia's head to make sure she's 100% protected. Hey, it's me, Mr. Iadican. It took a bit to find a flashlight, but with how this room is... I look up to the shining white pterodactyl, pointing the flashlight at his own face. Oh. Get off me, you git. Oof. Look, I'm not paying you two to get frisky in the closet. That's what Trigham's class is for. We're not frisk. Mr. Iadican holds up a pale hand, his grin widening. Relax, I'm joking around. He leans against the doorway to get a better look inside the dark room with his flashlight. Power's out for the whole block, and apparently our backup generator's decades old and is only keeping the AC on. Someone should get fired for that. Come on, we can wait it out in the studio. Olivia follows me out into the main classroom as we trail slowly in Mr. Iadican's wake. The slow sounds of his gait set a nice contrast to the rain lashing against the windows. Whoa, it really is coming down outside. Think it'll flood? It floods here? Sometimes. The ground floor classrooms used to have carpet, you know. Iadican starts pulling something out of his desk, but it's too dark to see what. Ugh, don't mind me. That junk just sucked away half a year's funding. You ever try teaching people about watercolors without the friggin' watercolors? Was ridiculous. I remember you were the most upset. What's Trigham's class? That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't seen that character. I've only seen Miss Prockling, Mr. Solly, and Mr. Iadican. Prockling teaches history, Solly is the coach. Sorry, I got his name wrong. Mr. Coach Solly. And this dude is the art and photography teacher. He sets some tiny tea lights down on one of the desks and begins lighting them. The tiny wicks are set alight with the tiniest embers, providing the bare minimum of illumination for us to see. Won't those trigger the fire alarms? We should be fine. They're too small by themselves. What are those for? Been saving them for a rainy day. We're gonna be stuck for a while, so why not make it a camp out? Camping. I like the sound of that. Won't we get in trouble, though? It'd be trespassing, right? It's either this or trying to get you home in a storm. As if to illustrate his point, the weather decided to chime in. Besides, schools are usually made with sheltering in mind. There's all kinds of procedures for this, like bringing everyone to the gym and breaking out some really moldy cots. Olivia winces. Those haven't been replaced? Heh, our budget has been in the red for years, Miss Halford. Part of why we're being scrutinized right now with that whole audit business. Anyway, we're the only ones left on campus, so I'm not gonna go through all that trouble. So just relax for now. I've already called a taxi for the both of you. Taxi? I made the call as soon as the power went out. It's gonna be a while to get one ready and send it out. Are we gonna see the cabbie again? What'll we do in the meantime? Our teacher has a wicked grin. You're not done with that homework, right? Oh, I'm kidding. Time and the storm carry on, yet things are surprisingly calm. Olivia pretends to focus on her work while I pretend to help her, but soon enough, Mr. Eadican starts sharing wild stories about previous semesters. You know, a few years back, somebody tried to take his hat right off his head. Let me tell you, I've never seen a shovel fly that fast. Given the joke that since... Oh, Triggum is the sex ed teacher would make the most sense, yeah. That sounds appropriately violent. I think Solly killed a kid with a shovel. Either way, Olivia slowly loosens the facade of productivity, and I join her not long after. You know, I still owe you for ruining your one coat last year. Oh, forget about it. I have dozens of them in my closet. Anyway, you too? The eerie ambience from the blackout is quickly overridden by our combined laughter. Eventually, we run out of things to say and just wait quietly in each other's company. Eadican slumps downwards in his chair. Ugh, long day today. He glances out the window, still being assaulted by sheets of rainwater outside. Normally, I'm home by now, resting. You two mind if I relax a little here? No, go ahead. Ugh, thanks. He stretches behind him, cracking his spine against the groove of the chair. Olivia, I've been meaning to say. You're usually so quiet, reserved, isolated even. I've noticed you're being a bit more friendly recently. Huh? You think so? You've been in my classes for all 4 years. Of course I would. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, but it hurts me to see a student hurt themselves like that. When you're in the adult world, you'll see this all the time. Once someone's in a rut, they'll tend to just stay there until their days blend together instead of lifting themselves up. Like they got all the time in the world. So I'm proud of you for making an effort, Olivia. Oh, Mr. Eadican, don't be flustered, be proud, Olivia. You've managed to form a friendship. Of course, I appreciate you extending an olive branch too, Inko. Me? It's no problem, Mr. Eadican. Come on, school hours are over. You can drop the mister. I mean, it's not something to be thanking me for, is it? I'm just her friend. That is great to hear, though. You can't always navigate this world alone. Someone to keep company can really help. He can. More than you can imagine. Eadican leans forward to place a hand over both of ours. He just barely makes contact with Olivia's wrist when she winces and yanks it back. Shit. Olivia, are you alright? Ow, I'm fine. That just hurt. I was fine before, though. You've been trying to stay off that wrist all day. Was it that bad? It was feeling better. I even helped build those doohickeys. The print enlargers. He covers his eyes with one hand. Of course, great move. Student's been overworking herself, and I give her extra physical work. What am I doing? It wasn't your fault. I didn't want you to worry. I had no idea how bad it was. He leans forward again, gently holding Olivia's wrist, inspecting it and being careful not to cause any pain. You need to take care of yourself, Olivia. If something were to happen, I know you'd be completely beside yourself. I know. I know you were doing extra work, but... how did it even get this bad? It was a lot of extra work. Doing a whole group's assignments on top of my own. For the last 3 weeks, basically all my free time. It's great practice, at least that's what I was telling myself. Olivia does her best to hide her wincing as the teacher tests her arm. I never would have made it to graduation. All because of that painting you switched. He shakes his head and lets go of Olivia. No, it goes further than that. That painting was all because of the pain you've been going through all these years. All because of that first contest entry, hanging in the gala. Your first venture into the art world, and it went how it did. Olivia looks down at her hand, stretching the fingers out and in, slowly, carefully. My hand moves without a thought, fingers shaking, her hand carefully to help in some way or another. A figure's taking her hand. You in that painting. Our teacher palms his face and groans into it. It's genuinely a good piece, Olivia. I've told you that so many times. She locks up, but manages a small nod. What a horrible chain of events. I had to witness it all these years. Watched as it's taken your friends, your self-worth. That little smile you had when you first came to my class. And now it's ruining your health. He gently lets go and covers his own eyes again. And I really just sat here and watched it? I was just talking about how people act like they have more time than they have. Yadican, are you alright? I'm super. I'm more than okay. In fact, I've made up my mind about something. You. Take her to the gala, please. There's something I want you two to see. No words, just do it, please. I nod. What are you going to show us? He stops at the door. Something you should have seen a long time ago. My shoes slosh noisily through the flooded hallway as we slowly head back to the main building of the school. Olivia herself had used her arms to tuck her legs up onto her seat, her head now resting on her knees. Yadican didn't seem to care, each of his steps splashing water around and soaking his slacks. The drains in the floor are working overtime, keeping the water at a minimal level. An unsettling feeling washes over me as we enter the atrium, the interior of the school pitch black from a lack of lighting. At least we aren't dealing with wet floors, but navigating the halls in the dark is a new difficulty. Olivia brought out her phone, using its flash as a light to shine our way, but I'm still unnerved. The only sound I hear is the squelches of my shoes and the awkward dripping from both Olivia and I. And it was then that I realized that Yadican had left us behind. Mr. Yadican. Her voice bounces down the dark halls of the school. Did you see where he went? Kinda. I think he went that way. I can just make out Olivia's hand pointing, thanks to her phone, towards the school's offices. I keep pushing Olivia, though taking my time as I feel my shoes threaten to slip with each step I take. It's slow going, between the eerie darkness and my slow steps. What should have taken us a minute at most takes about 3 minutes for us to arrive at the gala. Well, we're here. The storm rages against the glass ceiling. What's normally the source of the hall's natural lighting is completely obscured by the typhoon, and there's still no sign of a Yadican. I withdraw my phone and turn its flashlight on too, in the hopes to improve the situation. I can hear something else, aside from us in the rain. Something that's getting closer. A tiny red light in the distance there, with the sound. The tiny ember bounces and sways in rhythm with the odd tapping, until... What is going on? I'm frozen for a second. The thought forces its way through me. He wouldn't ever hurt us. Yadican, what are you doing? Something is kicked aside. It's Olivia's painting from the art contest a few weeks back. It smacks loudly against the glass casing of the display case. These are the ones, yeah? What? I'm ignored, Yadican staring right at Olivia. She's also struck fearful, but she nods. It's about to go down. Yadican takes a deep breath and faces the display. What are you gonna do with that? Hey. Yadican, wait, this is a bit extreme, isn't it? Good lord. Woo! That was absolutely beautiful. Holy crap. I'm actually tearing up a little bit, and I don't even fully understand why. Olivia? It's gone. Both of them. This should have been done long ago. Yeah, Yatakan, it's crazy. I know. What about the other things in the case? Who fucking cares? Those students graduated ages ago. Given the tint of the scene, this is clearly the blue period of Olivia's art. Ah, that makes sense. You know how many still do art? None. If they're collateral so someone else can, fine by me. But Olivia, you got no other big paintings now, do you? She shakes her head. That's a shame. Look what I just did. I can make another. Yes, that's what I need to hear. You make me so proud to hear that. Do you remember in sophomore year when you challenged me to think of something I wanted to do and set a goal to do it? Of course. I couldn't think of anything back then, but there has been one thing that I've been wanting to do for a while now. And like you said, some company could really help. Olivia grips my hand just a little tighter. Promise not to laugh? Never. Would you mind asking me again, Yatakan? Sure. I believe it was, if you could leave right now and go do anything you wanted, what would you do? Anything at all? Yep. I want to go see a fountain. And paint it for you. Fucking brilliant. There's a fountain here? There's a park not too far from here, and you can barely see the fountain in the center of it from the window. You can see it right now in the storm, but I want to go there. Oh, you can't see it right now. I think I know of it. The one in Stig Equestrian Park. That's wonderful, Olivia. Yatakan stumbles a bit. I rush to give him a shoulder, some shards of glass crunching under my feet. Huh, good thing the power's out. No cameras up or anything. Won't you get in trouble for this? I'm always in trouble for something. And ordinarily, I'd just take the hit, especially for something like this. That Mia chick can take the fall. To hell with her. Olivia manages another small smile. I mean, she did destroy a whole bunch of stuff with witnesses, so yeah, that works. I'm looking forward to that painting. You better get it to me. I will. And you better help. Of course. Yatakan motions for us to wait by the school's entrance. For a while, we sit there. Do you have one, Yatakan? Do you have something that you want to do? I'm already doing it. No, really. Really, teaching high school is a great job that nobody ever regrets. You should pose that question to Inko there. All this character development, he's barely said a word. Alright, Inko, what about you? What do I want to do? If I could pick anything. I guess I want to go to college. I want to make plenty of friends. I want to find true love. Oh no. I have to make a decision. I'm gonna take another sip of water and mill this over. Okay, go to college strikes me as, like... It's practical, but it's more for him than for Olivia. I want to make plenty of friends could be superficial. It's not the number of friends that matters, it's the quality of friendship after all. I want to find true love. That's corny, but it might be the right thing to say. Yeah, fuck it, true love. A more ambitious dream, I can get behind it. A bit unimaginative. That's just hater talk. You should probably start looking more into the how and not the what. Like you would know. I can totally do it. Sure thing, Mr. Successful. I'd like to think this is in real time and Inko is taking an awful long time to say something. I mean, that works. He does seem to space out while he's narrating. Your blog doesn't even have 10 followers. You looked me up? Yeah, got bored. You could at least follow me if you're gonna cyberstalk me. I'll follow you when you make good content. Ouch. Also, your interpretation of Godzilla you copied from a video essay sucks, and you should feel bad. Wait, Godzilla exists in Snootverse? Is he an actor? I copy Iadacan's motion with the axe and karate chop Olivia's leg. I didn't feel that, jackass. Well, I guess some banter is a form of motivation as well. It sounds like you have quite the promise to uphold now, Inko. Boo. Even with the disses being thrown around, what stood out most was the wild grin on Olivia's face. Between the staccato of rain and the uproarious laughter, time seemed non-existent. I could feel the muscles in my face ache brought on by bouts of laughter and grinning, which made the taxi's arrival so disappointing. As we were escorted out to the parking lot, our mirth was replaced with something more. Calm. Comfortable. An easy quiet to let my thoughts wander, back to the things that we said to each other. Back to what our tarot teacher had said. Navigating the world alone. For all the time I spent around Olivia and her friends, it never really occurred to me that she'd harbor something like loneliness. I mean, Damien alone is like a wild crowd composed of a single madman. And Liz, she's practically the group's nanny or something. The driver of the yellow van leans into his horn, and I can feel a baleful leer on me, even through the haze of fog and raindrops. I guess it's not the Monarch. Olivia draws her hood up, and I hold my jacket above my head. With a final look to Mr. Iadacan, we thank him. No need for thanks. Seeing my students grow and prosper into adulthood is all the reward this old fossil needs. With a wave, he sends us off into the rain, to the irate taxi man's van that yells at us about his burning gas. While Olivia works to get herself situated in the cab, I turn back. Mr. Iadacan is sagging, meandering back to the building. Oi, hurry up. Right. It's been about a week since the typhoon. The days after were surreal with how things just realigned with the old schedule. Iadacan was serious when he told Olivia to keep off that wrist. He effectively banned her from painting until it got better. Meaning all week I've been doing our work as a group. It was exhausting. But today I'm pretty excited. For the first time, Olivia is actually joining me on the metro. We're headed to the city. It's gonna be a bit of a trip. Using my inbox to store sketching ideas while her wrist heals. On Thursday, she even attempted sending a few left-handed sketches, but gave up after the third or fourth malformed rat. Then Liz sent a game-changing invitation through our group chat. Her uncle has some business in the city, and he told her she can go do something with the time since it's her car. So she invited the rest of us to join her for lunch at a fancy... Pretty thrilled. It's got me pretty thrilled. Olivia understood the order to stay off her hand, but that doesn't make her less manic about wanting to get into painting. Why do you agree if you don't want to go? Well, a trip to the city won't suck so bad if you're there. Even if I You're almost done healing. It won't be much longer, I know it. But Iadacan said that you should at least wait for Monday. Yeah, that too. Besides, I don't want to be around Damien while he's... Ugh. Poor guy looked up, picked Olivia up. He was pale and shaking, and the floor between his feet was left bubbling after a particularly powerful sneeze. Has it ever been that bad? It happens like once a year. It's the one reason we don't share a room. One moment he's fine, the next he's inebriated. Oh. Damien has a drinking problem? Let me rewind that. This car is weird. You ride this every day? Yep, this is even my seat. Right next to the folding accessibility seat? What, did you start accounting for me before we even met? Huh, maybe I did. She mouths something and rolls her eyes, but there's a clear smile after she goes back to watching the passing buildings. Does inebriated also mean sick? Compared to a car ride together, this felt a little more intimate. Even if there are more people in close proximity, none of them paid us any mind. Just Olivia and I. Several stations later, the metro grinds to a halt at our stop. All right, you ready? Yeah. Olivia shoos my hand away when I go help her out the metro. We step out into the chilled air of the city. I'm already getting goosebumps. That cold front is really making itself known. We should find Liz quickly before Olivia starts shivering. Are you seeing a long, big green neck anywhere? None that I know of. Great, that sounds awesome. We looked around, through the alleyway, into the closest shops. Maybe she's in the bathroom? I wait around, but I don't want to make Olivia wait out in the cold. Did we go to the wrong stop? Just text her already. Crap, right, I'm dumb. What the hey, where'd you go? What? A moment later, her head ropes out the door of a nearby coffee shop, followed by the rest of her. Hey, Inko, glad you guys could make it. Yeah, I just got confused. I didn't think you'd be in the cafe there. Really? I've been in there the whole time. I messaged Damien and I went in to escape the cold, and... Where's Damien? Oh man, he got nasty sick right before we left. He couldn't make it. But... is he fine? He'll be fine, I think. Okay, alright. Well, that just throws a wrench into all my plans now, doesn't it? We can still have fun without him, right? Yeah, I know, it was just, Inko, she's trying to date the man. This one's gonna be tricky. Oh boy. Well, I was hoping between the four of us, it'd be like a double date. Huh? Yeah, Damien and me, you and Inko, all together for a fancy lunch. Liz, Olivia and I aren't... Oh. I'm sorry, I just assumed. Boy, this is embarrassing. The whole day seems like everything's gone wrong for me. It's fine. Yeah, we can still have a good time. I'm still having lunch with friends. I'm sure you guys will love it too. Come on. Liz leads us through the streets, pointing out our destination when it comes to view through the towering skyscrapers. The building is more akin to a narrow spike aimed skyward, with a large disc-like room built near the tip. The Space Needle? And you see that space near the top? It's the restaurant. They built it in a way that the whole thing slowly rotates, so your view changes while you eat. You can see the whole city, the ocean, even the mountains. Whoa. I've gone here with my parents all the time as a kid, and I always daydreamed about bringing friends and important guests there, and... well, you know, business-type stuff. This'll be my first time on my own. Well, you know. Yeah. You'll see, there's even a... Whoop, hold it. We lost Olivia. We turn around to check our errant Gator friend, who's a bit farther behind, and grimacing. She comes slowly rolling in, fighting to hide the slight winces every time she pushes herself. Oh, sorry. It's fine. You sure you don't want help? I can manage on my own, please. Alright, you want to lead the way? Alright, it's that Space Needle-looking place, right? She rolls ahead. Liz and I follow behind, continuing our conversation. Aw, man, am I gonna have to decide whether or not to impose help on Olivia? The restaurant is an impressive spire, with the actual seating area 30 floors or so up. After Liz verifies her reservation, we're let into a special elevator with a glass front. After a minute or so of rising above the city, we stop and let the doors slide open to reveal the restaurant. It's a circular room with the seating by the windows and an inner ring for bars and the kitchen making up the center. An inner ring for bars. That's what it says. Definitely a carefully crafted place. I wonder if it'd be the kind of place my parents would bring me to. A waitress greets us and leads to a table by the windows. One of the seats closest to the window is moved so Olivia's wheelchair can fit by the table. She approaches the space and stops. She's looking down out the window. Can we switch seats? Afraid of heights? Shut. Alright. I oblige, shifting the seat over so she sits instead by the aisle. Quite a view, huh? I can see why it'd make you squeamish, Olivia. Heights also scare the living daylights out of me. That is the worst phobia you could possibly have. With the caveat that I've never played myself and only watched others do it, the side characters in Wani feel less interesting and funny than in Snoot. Snoot's also more comedic overall, sad endings aside. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Snoot game has a lot more, like, terminally online humor in it. And references to Adult Swim shows for some reason. What? Are you afraid of heights, Liz? Well, yeah, isn't everyone? What? That doesn't make any goddamn sense, Liz. Your head hangs 3 stories above your shoulders and heights scare you? Look, acrophobia is the irrational fear of heights, okay? So of course it doesn't make sense, but still. Whatever, heights suck. We agree on that at least. So, what do you think? It's very nice. I can see why you wanted to come here. Liz nods. We need the Wani extra chapters. Oh, are they adding them? My family usually comes here once a year. Uncle Ferris has to remember to bring along a letter from the owner saying he's fine to let in, that he won't bring the whole tower down. He can't be that heavy. What the hell is bisque? Olivia's looking into the menus. Right, we're here to eat. Lobster bisque? It's a lobster tail in a creamy kind of soup. Then why not call it lobster soup? Bisque is a stupid word. I look down at the menu myself. There's all your standard options between pastas, sandwiches, cuts of meat, some weird novelty things, but I actually like trying those. I guess I'll have... Oh. Was this the hard decision? No, it can't be. Double tropical cheeseburger with pineapple sauce, chicken pizza, the chicken is the crust, entire leg of cow, carnivore section, samies with Olivia, Volcadera kebab, the wooden steak is even carved to look like the restaurant. Nothing is official, but Snoot's bonus content was added in an update, so it would make sense if they made extra content for Wani. Okay, that makes sense. They might do DLC. I think it sold pretty well. Let's see. I don't want to get an entire cow leg. People will probably think he's weird if he gets the pineapple burger. Volcadera kebab. You sure? With onion rings. If you want it, I'm buying. They serve breakfast all day, too. I'm going with their pancake platter. Liz waves a waitress over and we give our orders. Nostalgia pick? You got me. It takes me way back. She stares out the window. I look out the horizon as well. The view has shifted a bit to show the mountains. We all look out for a long while. Maybe a little too long. Ordinarily, this would be around the time Damien would say something that kept the conversation going. Oh, right, he's usually the one bringing us all together. Yeah, it's strange to think, but Liz and Olivia aren't really more than acquaintances. But during lunch, it's Damien that always makes sure everyone else is included in the conversation. Nothing comes to mind. I don't think I'd make a good Damien. One moment, please. I ring Damien up in the hallway. He's sick, yes, but hopefully he'll have something for me to use. If he picks up, please. Yellow? Vinny, I want to talk to Damien. Nah, he's out right now. Mom's with him in the backyard. He's puking his guts out into a bucket. Why? Pest control guys buy it from us for $50. Gross. What'd you want him for? I can tell him when he comes back in. Oh, why not? I wanted to know how he always keeps our friend group so lively. Like, I was considering small talk, just bringing up movies or something. Ew, no. Movies suck. Nobody actually likes them. What? I'm playing Fortnite. I'll turn it down so you can hear me. I heard what you said. It was just dumb. Was it? Yeah. There's a pause for a moment. Movies always sucked. Like, they started in black and white and without sound, and they never really got better. Even when they peaked in the 70s, they only barely became watchable. Have you ever even watched The Godfather? Dad made me watch that stuff, and it just sucked. No, you probably just didn't get it. Dad explained the whole plot to me, ins and outs, and it was really just mid-trash. That movie won awards. You can't just call it trash. Yeah, I can. Movies are just a trash genre of content. Even the best ones are usually just polished turds that waste your time. He's got that Gen Alpha attention span. Okay, then, what's a good movie? Ever heard of Mr. Beast? How about Storytime animations? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Wait, Mr. Beast exists in this universe? Is he literally a beast? I'm not. Any popular content on YouSnoop provides more value for your time than the classics that you old people fawn over, and it still sucks. Those aren't even movies. The decision better not be one of the ones that count. What for lunch doesn't feel like a I get the girl or she goes on a shooting spree sort of thing. Yeah, I don't think what's for lunch is an important choice. They move and I watch them. Not my point, you little troglodyte. As if you could ever even think of comparing that slot to the likes of Star Wars, The Godfather, Blade Runner 2049. Movies are one massive pile of doo-doo fart, but even it can sometimes make something mediocre. These are billion-dollar franchises. Millions of people would disagree with this deranged nonsense. Inko, you're arguing with a child, for fuck's sake. At least it's not Skibbity Toilet. I haven't seen Skibbity Toilet, and I don't want to see Skibbity Toilet, but apparently they're somehow making a movie out of that. So Vinny's gonna be excited for that one. Mr. Beast logo on. Oh, that's what that is. I thought it was from the Power Rangers XP he's always watching. Apparently that's the Mr. Beast logo. Oh my god, you little... Listen, you little chump. Next time I see you, I'm gonna wring your little neck like a wash rag. What? Who is this? Shit. Calm down. Calm down. Kill him later. Nuts, I didn't get the advice. I sulk back to my seat and slump down, catching my breath. Whoa, you alright? Your eye is twitching. I don't think I've ever been more angry in my life. What happened? I don't want to talk about it. I rub the tension from my face. I will not play Skibbity Toilet in honor of this game, Chaos Wolf. Inko watches reviews instead of making his own opinions. He has no right to discuss this kind of shit. 100%. Fine, I can be a good Damien all by myself. So, Liz. Yeah? You mentioned when we first met that you wanted to be an art dealer, getting the right people the right paintings, right? How's that going? Oh, yeah, it's going great. I just got accepted to Marshland U, actually. Oh, snap? Yeah, I finally got everything all worked out for myself. I'm gonna hit the ground running once I graduate. That's pretty cool. I'm still figuring things out. You too, right, Olivia? I only got short-term goals right now. but I'm interested in what Liz was talking about. Right, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for Olivia to replace the stolen painting. But what was annoying was having to contact the Treasury and Administration about the broken cabinet. I mean, what even happened? Whoever did it, I wish they could have dealt with Mrs. Scalar's neurotic tantrum the way I did. We're still finding glass shards all over the floor, and I get screamed at as if I'm the one responsible for it. Sorry, Liz. Scalar needs to put the coffee mug down sometimes. Jeez. It's not a big problem anymore. We've already ordered a new display. It should be installed next month. Oh, I got off track. What were we talking about again? The art dealing thing. I'm actually interested. Oh, well, the plan is to be able to open my own business. I'll start online and work my way up to having a physical location. Uncle Ferris told me he's willing to help me figure the legal part out. I've already gotten a few connections. Some people might be interested in being involved that run some pretty decent prices. For me, I mean. And I'll be selling my own works, too. I've even gotten better at painting since the start of the year. Have you noticed? I think you have, yeah. Although since I'm no artist, I'll admit some of the details are probably lost on me. Liz nods. And maybe I'll buy one sometime. You'll give me a discount, right? Heh, maybe. Olivia, have you painted anything good recently? No. Oh, sorry. It's fine. Well, I got one I really want to be doing. Why don't you? Because I got dragged here instead. Dang it, Olivia. I mean, not that I'm mad. Liz looks like she wants to say something. The thought dies on her tongue. Yeah. The conversation, and the tension, thankfully, gets interrupted as our food arrives. The social media influencer in me itches to take a photo of each plate, especially with how good the presentation is. Dang, I should have brought my camera along with me. Wait, I have my phone. Say, Olivia. I turned just in time to see her clamp her jaw on the hunk of meat, tearing it right off the bone. Never mind. How's it taste? She takes a moment to chew her food before setting it down the hatch and smiling as she gives me a greasy thumbs up. Liz chuckles from Olivia's good review as she lowers her head to the first bite of her pancakes. Given that her neck is making movements equivalent to doing the happy dance, I'm guessing that the pancakes are good here. My view had changed again, and now having noticed it, I could almost feel the slow rotation of the room. I savor my onion rings while watching Volcadera Bluffs pan right by us, taking in the amazing view. My thoughts reach out for my camera, already calculating the restaurant's rotation, with the proper settings to capture the full 360 panorama I could achieve. And a separate section on my mind recalls the other panoramic of the city I saw, the one that is now nothing more but shredded debris. Say, Liz. The Brachiosaurus takes a moment to respond as she attempts to cram her snout into her glass of water. Stupid glass, no straw. Yeah? So you mentioned all about wanting to be an art dealer and to be a part of that system. I guess it could be cool if we worked together. Touch my food and lose an arm and go 100%. Come again? I don't know, it just seems like a decent idea. No, I get you. Now it's Liz's turn to pause from her food, sit upright, and carefully tap the napkin on her closed lips. Maybe, but I don't think you'd want that, honestly. No, that'd be cool. I'd like that. Oh. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get this whole thing off the ground on my own. Without others' help, right? Like, how you feel about your art stuff. That's different. The point is, it's important to me that my start is as self-sustaining as... as self-sustaining as possible. But you just said you had connections, and your uncle. Yeah, family and such, not, Olivia raises that iconic eyebrow. Friends? Oh, friends? Or is it just me? Olivia, don't even start to make a scene. I have to do something. Olivia, Liz, come on, guys. Can't we finish lunch first? How am I making a scene, Liz? I'm just curious about your life for once. Well, not like this, then. I'd rather you go back to giving me the silent treatment. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. What have I done? What's your deal? Damien and Inko want us to be friends. Here I am actually trying, and what, am I not worthy enough for your stuck-up... Ugh. Oh, no. You didn't want my friendship before, or Damien's, for years. It just sounds a bit like you just want to be friends now because you can get something out of it. I want to be friends, just not like that. I thought things were finally start getting good. Olivia, there's lots of people less fortunate than you. You have the support of your friends, all the offers. You can't blame me if you just ignore both. Liz, let me finish, please. I'm not mad. I envy you. I admit it. Anyone would. Effortlessly getting that attention and help. I hate it. I know, and I know it's wrong, but that's what I've been thinking for a while. I see all these things you have available to you all these years, and you just take them for granted. I just think that's a wasteful way to live. Look, sorry. I appreciate you guys. After telling me to my face how you'd rather be elsewhere and not here while eating at my expense? You know what, Olivia? This is the most nice I can do for you at the moment because you really don't deserve anything else. Liz. Liz clasps a hand over her mouth. Olivia doesn't respond. She looks down at her plate. I'm going to use the bathroom. She pushes herself away from the table and through the aisle. Oh no. I'm sorry, Liz. I didn't mean to snap. It's all right. Once Olivia gets back, you can apologize. No, I don't think I can. After everything, I think I deserve that much. Good God. The brief was to just get these two talking and have a good time, and it's like a grenade was thrown onto the table. Wow, I am a terrible fucking Damien, let me tell you. Liz? Yeah? Why didn't it work? Why didn't what work? I know you two aren't on the greatest terms, so I tried to keep the conversation going. So it wouldn't get awkward and nobody would get left out like Damien does. I feel like this was somehow my fault. But how? I did everything I was supposed to. I don't think you did anything wrong. Why does this never happen around Damien? Good question. I don't know. Liz picks up her plate, popping the yolk on her over-easy egg. She's probably not in the mood. If I pushed any further and said anything I want to say... She's probably not in the mood. If I pushed any further and said anything I want to say right now. Olivia wouldn't like me prodding right now either. There's no options. I try to think of something to do, but... nothing. I can't think of doing anything at all. Not without making someone uncomfortable, or worse, getting them mad at me. And I've never even anticipated something like this happening. It's frustrating. I can't do anything, but I can't do nothing, obviously. Not if I want to smooth things over. Right now, Olivia's in the bathroom. She's actually just fooling around in the hallway, but the point is the two are separated. I can work something out. Andrew Parsons, over easy is your favorite? I prefer scrambled or as an omelet. I like over medium, I think, better. I don't know, it's only good if there's, like, some kind of toast to eat it with. Should I keep trying, then? I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. I think I'd rather you didn't. Come on, Liz, help me out here. Ask Liz for help. How does she know how to deal with avoiding upsetting others? Go find Olivia. Shit. Okay. No spoilers, please. But, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I probably should go after Olivia. Thank you, Toronto Man's on the Moon? Ask Liz IMO, I don't actually know. I picked the other one. I mean, I could go back and change it. Middle. Everybody's giving me different responses. I guess I'll go with the one that I picked. A heavy breath escapes me as I stand from my chair. If you'll excuse me, Liz. Her head tilts comically further than needed in question. I just want to check on Olivia. Oh. She waves me off as I turn away. Yeah, go with Liv. Making my way through the restaurant, a part of me marvels at how I don't even feel the room spin. Kinda makes me dizzy, honestly. But it's just my mental busy work to distract myself. After all, I have no idea what I'm gonna say to Olivia. Hey. Should I ask her how she is? Inko? Well, I'm on the spot now. Hey, I just came to see what you were doing. I thought I had more time to think about things, but instead of being by the restrooms, Olivia was... Why are you here by the bar? I wanted to see if they'd give me a mimosa. What? Mimosa? You know, like OJ and champagne? Olivia, you can't drink. Says you. She takes a long sip from a glass flute filled with orange liquid. I make to slap it out of her hand, but her tail stops me. I'm joking, jeez. It's like you, Inko, a virgin. She grins at my scowl and continues sipping on her drink. Want some? She holds out the glass to me with that smug smile of hers. Isn't a virgin mimosa just orange juice? Taking the flute, I can clearly see where her lips had touched it. Olivia looks to be leaning forward as I stare at the glass. Indirect kiss. Indirect kiss. Ignoring the heat in my cheeks, I tip the glass above me, carefully pouring some of the liquid into my mouth. Oh. This is just juice and ginger ale, Olivia. Okay, that's what the champagne is. Handing her back the glass for a split second, I thought I saw some disappointment in her eyes. Maybe I'm just seeing things now. With a shake of my head, I refocus. I came to check on Olivia and fix things between her and Liz. You okay, Olivia? Yeah, totally. Why wouldn't I be? Her eyes are wide open and yet not looking my way. Well, because of what Liz said. Oh. She sags in her chair. Olivia? No, yeah, that was... Her finger circles the tip of her glass as she thinks. I'm not hurt, just frustrated. She looks at her glass one... Ah, my nose is a little stuffy. She looks at her glass one final time and then throws down the last quarter of it in a single swallow. Afterwards, Olivia sets it on the bar, on top of a couple crumpled dollar bills. I mean, Liz doesn't get it, Inko. Maybe if she walked a mile in my shoes, she would, but I'd hate to see you guys go at it like that. Yeah, maybe it's been a long time coming for me, but who cares? A long time coming? I know she's been a bit frustrated for a while, probably been holding that in. It doesn't mean I want to hear it, though. All the time I've known her, she's just been so far ahead of me. You heard her yap about how her art's gotten better, how many connections she has, and how it'll get her $1 billion or whatever. I'm the better artist, but I don't even know how to start getting my crap together like that. I look like a chasm. I look at that chasm between us and it fills me with dread. It's just jealousy, I know it. It's just been getting worse every time she mentions getting further in life while I can't convince myself to try. It's different actually, getting her upset at me over this specifically. I just mentioned being someone she'd consider a real acquaintance and she blows up like that. Not trying to be rude, but Liz would not be running if she was in Olivia's shoes. Ah, true. You want to talk about it? No. You sure? Is that what you wanted to see me about? Partially. The other part is that I'm a bit confused. I wasn't expecting things to go the way they did. So I came to see you, to ask for help to make this right. Uh-huh. Well, I'm not apologizing if that's what you mean. Come on, Olivia, help me out here. Ask Olivia for help. How does she know how to deal with avoiding upsetting others? These both seem like a similar thing. Ask Olivia for help. No, that's not it. Rubbing my scalp to help my thoughts flow, I just let my words come out unfiltered. I'm serious here, Olivia. I need some help. I have her full attention now, and my words just keep coming. I feel like I did everything right, but it went wrong. You and Liz got into an argument, and though it wasn't heated, you got hurt. That scares me. For a brief moment, Olivia's gray eyes widen in surprise. I have a few ideas on what to do, but nothing that won't make someone upset. Or worse, get them mad at me. Why do you care about our opinions so much? Because you're my friends? I want us all to get along and enjoy the lunch we got invited to. But I don't know how to fix it. The only things I can think of will probably just make you guys upset with me. So that's why I'm asking you. Me? You're, self-reliant. You're strong in your stance to never accept help on account of your condition. For the longest time, that confused me. Well, it still does, but you do it. It confuses you? Well, it's like others are willing to give, and giving feels good. So when you deny it, it's like telling them those thoughts don't matter. One way to put it. That's the part that I don't get. Even though everyone stands to gain something, for the sake of your goals, you don't accept. You take the hard road. Saying it out loud, I like it. I'm willing to give it a shot, but I don't know how. What do you do when there's no good option? Wow. Well, thanks. I guess I'll put it this way. It'd make an alcoholic happy to give him alcohol, even though it hurts him. But sending him to rehab, that's painful. It's not a happy journey to make, but it's good for him. Absolutely. But it's good for him. Absolutely. That's my point. Don't worry about making others comfortable and happy if something needs getting done. In my case, that means ignoring the help because my own goals need to be done. If it makes some uncomfortable, then it's their problem, not mine. When something needs doing, you just gotta do it. And when no option seems like it'll make people happy, well, you do what you can. That makes sense? I'm making this up as I go along. I think so, yeah. If it's the right thing, you'll get the support that you need. After all, I got you. And even if you don't, standing alone for your standards is cool. You'd be trying, and that's what matters. Yeah. Thanks, Olivia. Hey, you're welcome. Saying all that out loud is helping me understand a few things, too. You ready to head back? I have an idea how to smooth everything over. Sure. I'm curious as to what you have in mind, even if you think I won't like it. I start heading back to the table. Olivia follows close behind me. How is it that I get actual good life advice from a scaly visual novel? Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? That's the magic of Cavemanon. It looks like it's going to be, like, just all goofs and stuff, but then there's actual touching, good advice and stuff. I start heading back to the table. Olivia follows close behind me. Hey, you guys are back. Everything good? All cooled off? Yeah, everything's great. I want to give my 2 cents, try to resolve everything. I can't decide who's right. You're my friends. Liz is right. Olivia needs to think of others more. Olivia's right. Liz is being petty. Both of you are wrong? Oh, man. Okay. I can't decide who's right. You're my friends is what I'm leaning towards. Or both of you are wrong. Did Goodbye Volcano High give any advice? Kind of. It's more about, like, not being single-mindedly focused on having a career, because life is temporary and the people around you matter. Both? Scout Waffle is telling me to do both. Both. I take a deep breath. I don't really want to have to do this. Olivia watches carefully. She talked me through this. I can do it. She won't stop being my friend over this. Get over yourself, Inko. Just say what needs to be said. I think you're both acting silly. Really? Both of us? I didn't know that trying to get you guys conversing would make these sour feelings come up. And that was my mistake. My bad. But it's just ridiculous. Liz, I get Olivia was a shut-in and didn't open up to you back then, but that's clearly not the case anymore, is it? that was a question. No, I guess not. Then what use is holding a grudge? Accomplishing your goals on your own is fine. That's your prerogative. But when you say Olivia is just treating you differently because she has something to gain, you know that's not right. And, Olivia, I hate to say this, but you have been pretty thoughtless here as well. Liz is trying to do something nice for us, and hey, we all get to have a nice dinner in this crazy place. But when you say you'd rather be home painting, it's not just insulting Liz. It tells me that you'd rather not be here with me as well. I love how much you've opened up to us, Olivia. What it seems to me is that both of you just refuse to see eye to eye. Well, it's not easy with the neck and all. Too much pride going on. The sooner we stop trying to get the other to act the way we think they should, the better. And I thank you for your advice. I hope you won't be mad at me for saying this. Just please be a little more considerate. That's it. Again, sorry if I went too far. You're right. That's a little eloquent for such a little argument. Well, it was bothering me. And it would have turned into something worse, given time. All right, that's fair. I appreciate the effort. Liv did say you have to do stuff that might make them uncomfortable. That's right. I shouldn't try to be making people happy. Or rather, not I shouldn't be trying to make decisions that'll make people happy, but I shouldn't be making decisions just based on things being uncomfortable. That's what you had in mind when you asked for advice? Yeah. I figured it'd be something a lot worse. Like the roast of the century you've been holding against us. But if that's it, that's also decent. You're usually pretty thoughtful, so I guess I can see how that was a lot for you. We're nearly adults. That's not going to bother us. At least it shouldn't. So, are you good? Yeah. Thanks, Inko. Thanks. That went much better than expected. After things settled down, we finished off our meals. Well, Olivia finished our meals. Liz had noticed it first when one of her whole pancakes simply vanished. And I thought my onion ring pile was looking smaller by the minute. Don't be a suck-up. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Andrew. Looking Olivia's way, she simply waved at us with the most bizarre concoction of onion rings, flapjacks, and syrup and beef on her plate. What, I'll make you guys better food than this later. The theft of our food stopped shortly after that, and though the portions had diminished, we were all thoroughly satisfied with the meal. I offered to pay, or at least pitch in with the check, but Liz refused. She insisted that since it was her idea to begin with. But I had always figured it was the man's place to pay for a date, and this was a date, kinda. Neither of our hands lifted from the tiny leather booklet, and I don't know how long we spent playing tug-of-war with it. Olivia at least found it amusing, even recording our stare-down on her phone. I've defeated the final boss of Wani. But victory was mine, as I managed to palm my debit card to the waitress before Liz could give her back the bill booklet. With that done, all that was left for us here was making the most of the view. Olivia led the way to the observation deck on the floor beneath the restaurant, and she immediately regretted it as the blast of cold air even had me shiver a bit. The altitude plus the late fall weather meant the deck was mostly clear of guests, but the view was easily worth the cold, as I made a mental note to come back here one day with my DSLR. Yeah, it is kind of a miracle that somebody didn't lose a finger if she's able to steal food that fast. We slowly moved to the railing so we could fully take in the skyline from the bluffs and out towards the ocean along with the city's skyscrapers that were dwarfed by the spire. As I scan over it, I double down on the mental note, because seeing Olivia silhouetted by this beautiful view is... I don't get how you two can stand this temperature. Liz doesn't look that cold. All she's doing is rubbing her arms in a theatrical manner. I'm gonna be by the elevator, guys, okay? Her head moves next to Olivia, and there's a hush of whispers shared between them. Finally, Liz's body turns and leaves, her head following shortly after with a beaming smile. Alright, Liz being a wingman. Olivia? Don't ask. Her eyes remain on the horizon. Maybe it is a little colder, though, as Olivia's face is slowly turning red. Something up? Well... Her eyes trail down, and her hands raise up until she's carefully examining her wrists. I watch as she carefully tests her hands, wincing occasionally as she slowly flexes and rotates them. About the painting. Not until you're better. I know, I've been thinking about it. I'm going to be way out of practice when I'm all better. So, you're going to practice? She smiles as she turns to me, probably excited about the prospect of starting work on that soon. Yeah, I have the mental image for it in my mind and everything. Her smile lessens, though, and her tone becomes uneasy. I just want to make it perfect. I have the mental image, but I won't have the skill. Plus, between the carpal tunnel and rushing out all those pieces for Mia... I think I understand what she's getting at, but her smile is back again. Once I can paint again, I need time for practice. I want to show Mr. Iadican the greatest piece I can create. Do you need anything? My words cut my thoughts off. No, I have all the paint and... No, I mean, do you need any help with your practice? Her face glows red again. Maybe. Well, I don't know how much help I can be, what with my complete lack of painting talent. But otherwise, yeah, I'll do whatever I can for you, Olivia. I promise. I cement it with a smile and a thumbs up. Thanks. I think we only stood out on the viewing deck for a few more minutes. After a particularly cold draft had swept over us, Olivia figured she'd had enough of the chilly air here. Liz is also wearing a shirt, short sleeves, and that long neck uncovered. Olivia's always wearing that hoodie, a shirt, and full pants. No wonder it's cold. Of course, Inko is a mammal. That's true. Now, she's always dressed for the summer. She and Olivia look at each other for a moment. The two held their stare locked in on each other for about half a minute before Olivia looked to the side. So, what else is there to do here? A lot, evidently. Once we had gotten back to terra firma, Liz had taken it upon herself to walk us around the entire block. The whole area was like a miniature theme park, with a lot of street vendors selling tourist trap gifts. We spent the rest of the day just wandering the city park here. I was kind of hoping to see Tracy or Xavier Renegade Angel again. Enjoying the late fall day the best we could. Eventually, as the sun sunk below the horizon, Mr. Ferris found us. I had forgotten that we'd come here in the first place because of a business meeting of his. Liz and him waved us goodbye as they broke away and headed for the parking lot. While I pushed a very tired Gator girl to the metro station. I don't think she minded much, honestly, as she clutched her tail to her chest and used it as a makeshift pillow. She looked so sweet like that. As the perfect background for my phone. She must never learn of this, though. Because I don't think I'd survive. But it'd be worth it. After going home that night, Olivia texted me all night and well into the morning. We ended up talking about all sorts of things. Mia, our art, various shows, just about everything. I've never seen her that excited before. For someone with sore hands, she sure types fast. And for someone that doesn't much like talking, she sure types a lot. I certainly can't keep up. And when she didn't want to talk, she sent more doodles and sketches. Sleep wasn't really an option on my end either. And Guts' doodle ventures were quite entertaining to read. Since then, we've been texting more every night. Not as much since I do need my sleep. But right now, I'm just waiting for art class to end. Mr. Triggums is apparently one of those substitutes that demands complete silence until class is over, but doesn't care beyond that. Oh, okay. Apparently he's the substitute art teacher, so his class is for slacking off. So even though I'm sitting about 2 feet away from Olivia, we're having to text each other. She's quite the storyteller with those doodles. Like right now, as I try to keep up with the tale of Guts writing, What's he writing again? He's piloting the main golem from Gundam... He's piloting the main golem from Gundam Finn. A giant robot from one of the shows she's been wanting us to watch together. I mean, we would. I totally want to. Just Olivia and I sitting side by side on my couch. Maybe as we're getting tired, we start leaning against each other. I could even offer to keep her Whoops. Catching my phone on the precipice of my desk, I see that Olivia had sent an even more detailed version of the previous Guts drawing. And this is why. For how dumb as it is, Finn is still fun to rewatch. Or fun to watch. I don't get it. I don't have any context for this whatsoever. I know nothing about Gundam. You almost didn't get your phone just now. If you'd watch it, you would. Angry. One day, maybe. Though only if it's with her. One day, yes. Ah, crap, teacher. Don't want to lose my phone. Okay. After a couple of minutes without any alerts, I accept that the Gator girl really is done for now. With a quick look at the clock on the wall, I figure I've got a few more minutes before I absolutely must hide my phone. Iatacan's been out for about a week and a half, so we've been stuck with Mr. Triggums. Apparently he doesn't like electives. I swipe back, looking through the pieces that she sent me over the last couple of hours. A lot of the references go over my head, but the few that don't earn a hearty chuckle from me. Then there's the more detailed ones, the drawings that'd be good enough to actually render. I smile as I save those. I'd been meaning to ask if she'd finish one, back when she started doing this. But I never got around to it, simply saving it in a folder. A folder that's grown to a couple of dozen now. Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Would Jerome Clarkson please come to the office? Oh, is Gundam Finn supposed to be the Snoot Wani version of Gundam Wing? Guts' pose makes me think of GW, the main character, Hiro Yui, activating the self-destruct. Oh, okay. Yeah, it probably is supposed to be Gundam Wing. I assumed Gundam Finn was actually the name of a Gundam series. Thank you. The announcement makes me nearly drop my phone again. They'd been going on all morning, just calling random students to the office. A buzz from my phone has me check it again to see another message from the Gator girl. Never mind. Teach is acting weird today. Weird? I look at our substitute. Mr. Triggums isn't paying any attention to us. In fact, he's just kinda looking through the desk he's at. Weird. Same here. I think it has to do with the office thing. Are they on to Mr. Iatacan? I hope not. I will deny everything to save that man's career. IDK, I was thinking it was the short day, maybe? That was another thing. I think the entire class realized something was up with how fast class periods were going today. He dropped his phone. Ah, man. I look at my phone on the floor, the corner of the screen shipped away. Picking it back up before any of my classmates can step on it on their way to lunch. I also noticed that Ben wasn't here in class either. Hurry up, short day means lunch is earlier. Heading to lunch, I realize I'm actually not that hungry. Strange, but I guess it's an internal clock thing. I'm just so used to eating at the same time every day. Looks like I'm not the only one, as the usual war zone in the cafeteria has expanded to spill into the surrounding hallways. It's loud enough to even cover up the continued announcements. Urkel, thank you. Mostly. I've gotten pretty good at weaving through the chaos relatively unscathed, but man, these guys have way too much energy. What are they even fighting about? But as always, the table in the back is left alone. Damien is chattering loudly about his day so far to Olivia, who's occasionally poking Liz across the table with a toy claw hand. Liz flails her arms around to shoo away the offending poke, but never bothers to crane her neck down from the rafters. She perks up when she sees me. Yo, it's Inko. Hey, what's going on at Olive Garden today? Whack his noggin. The meter stick falls on my head. It's just a joke, a quip. How long did it take you to come up with that one? It was about 2 in the morning last night. Whack him again. Hey. Best $10 I've ever spent. It looks a little familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw it. Just like the real one, she'll bully you for saying dumb stuff. Bite me. She makes the head gnaw on my face a little. I'll go sit somewhere else. Do it. I got a new friend right here. Oh wow, I have an actual friend that isn't addicted to makeup pheromones. That makes me so happy. Your ventriloquism needs a bit of work. I still think it's a little weird. Oh, live a little. Huh, say, you guys aren't eating either? It's too early. I'll eat when I get home. The lunch ladies don't really try on half days. Don't they just not try normally? The difference makes itself known. I was out for like a week. I'm gonna steal some of whatever Olivia makes later. Get your own. I forget the voice that I was doing for Damien before. I've changed my mind. She has too much power. This is great. Olivia reaches over to gnaw on Damien again, and I snatch it out of the air. Ah, no! I aim to hitch it right onto Olivia's snout. Bullseye. It's clamped shut. The evil is defeated. While I'm giggling like a schoolgirl, Olivia uses the chance to grab the handbag. Fine, no more claw today. She hastily stuffs the plastic toy in her backpack. After some more small talk, Damien's attention wanders to Liz, who seems to be lost in thought. Hey Liz, what's in your head? Huh? Oh, I was just thinking about earlier today. I was talking to Principal Scaler this morning while running some errands for Stuco, and she was really out of it. Out of it? Yeah, like, she didn't want to be here today. I tried to pry, but she clammed up. I've never seen her like that before. She must have drank bad coffee or something. I don't think that makes people sad. I can tell you from experience, it just makes you really have to... It looks like I got a text. Liz pulls out her phone, craning her head down to get a better look at the screen. It's from Ben. Come, having a student council meeting. Huh, normally it's a bit more formal than that. I guess since it's a half day and all. Oh well, duty calls. Sorry for having to leave early, guys. No worries, Liz. We can meet up after school. Sounds good. I'll see you all later then. What would you guys want to do after school? I don't know, maybe we can hang out at my place? Too cold to get in the pool, but I'm sure we can think of something. I look over to Olivia, who doesn't seem to have any objections to the idea, but no input of her own. Got any ideas, Liv? We could doodle some stuff. Like charades? Yeah, make it into a game of sorts. That sounds pretty fun, actually. Then I can really wipe the floor with Olivia. Oh, save your breath, Nito. You know my stuff will own you and your chicken scratch. Wanna bet? Ha, that's a sucker bet. Alright then, loser has to pay for food. Deal. We shake hands, making the wager official. Would Olivia Halford please come to the office? Would Olivia Halford please come to the office? Thank you. The monotone voice of the intercom, combined with the strange atmosphere of the school, is starting to unnerve me. We all look at the Gator girl, who rolls her eyes and starts wheeling away from the table towards the exit. Yeah, something's going on. And it has something to do with Mr. Eatican not being here. After she left, everything felt more off. Lunch came to an end, and the school day was close to the same. Just a couple more periods before we can hang out somewhere with all the extra free time. I look at Olivia's desk, still empty 5 minutes into Prockling's class. I mean, yeah, she hates this class the most, but it's really become a habit at this point. Just like how it's become a habit for me to write an extra set of notes for Olivia. I like the detail that now Olivia is more social, she talks more, and no longer needs to drink water. Oh, that's a good point. I didn't notice that she stopped doing that. Speaking of... Hydration check. I look at the two mostly blank pages in front of me. Like with our other teachers, I notice that something's off with Prockling. She barely says anything, instead just asking us to read the chapter on the Great War. I did, just as asked, and 5 pages in, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it was the stupidest reason for a world war to break out. A bunch of European countries unhappy with being ruled by a bunch of other European empires deciding to revolt and dragging all of their allies into the quagmire. I am back. Hey, Vela Yeek in the real world. And, let's see. Toronto man's on the moon. She drinks water because she's not used to talking, I think. That makes sense. I don't talk very often when I'm not doing this, and it is kind of doing a number on my throat, especially Olivia's voice. How long is this game? That's a good question. I'm not actually sure. I haven't beaten it yet. I'm really struggling to make sense of the information, made worse with how outdated the textbooks are. The first time you watched Iwani, you were worried that Olivia's bottle had booze in it. I mean, yeah, that would be worrying. The way that it describes her getting hoarse before needing a drink of it, though, if it was booze, that would just dry her throat out more. 10 hours for a playthrough. I'm definitely not finishing it in one sitting today, then. Seriously, they're written so badly it ought to be a crime. 3 per ending if you skip the dialogue you've already seen. It oozes pro-Gilded Age corporatism, the kind that genuinely believed that anything bigger than a gathering of 10 people was a form of unionism. With a sigh, I busy myself with taking notes for myself and Olivia. As I do, my eyes continue to wander the classroom. Everyone looks just as disinterested in the subject matter. I look over to Prockling, and she herself doesn't seem interested in the subject matter as well. In fact, she's just kinda staring off into space. It's highly unusual, considering how much emphasis she puts on proper class focus. Yet there she is, spacing out like she's no better than the teenagers she teaches on the daily. I'm almost tempted to raise my hand and ask her a question to snap her back to reality when the room's speaker comes to life. Would Incognito please report to the office? Incognito, please report to the office. Thank you. Finally, we can figure out what all this stuff is about. I look up to Miss Prockling. I got called, but she's still the arbiter of who leaves her class and when. But she doesn't meet my eyes at all. If anything, it looks like she's actively trying to avoid eye contact. I pack my things and shuffle out of the classroom. All the while, the stares and murmurs from other students grow ever more intense. My mind immediately begins to wander. Why am I being summoned to the office? They sure are calling up a lot of people. Maybe it's related to 2 weeks ago? The only thing keeping me company on my march to the principal's office is the sound of rubber soles on tile. They must spend a fortune polishing these floors. It's not long before I notice another pair of footsteps coming from somewhere ahead of me. I squint my eyes, quickly recognizing the figure that approaches. It's Ben. Oh, something is wrong. I guess the student council wrapped up their meeting, though there's no sign of Liz anywhere. As the parasaur makes his way closer, I notice he has a complicated expression on his face. Hey Ben, what's going on? He flinches as I call his name, and looks around like a lost child before he spots me. We make eye contact for a few seconds, but he doesn't say anything. Everything all right, dude? Suddenly he turns away and continues down the hall. A sinking feeling takes hold of my chest. I almost try to speak up and stop him, but I can't think of anything to say. I guess I'd better get going. Okay, moment of truth. After another minute of walking, I reach the door of the principal's office and find it wide open. Come in. I step into the office and close the door behind me, following the source of the deep voice. Oh. I realize now that I've never seen the interior of the office before. It's fairly standard for an office: a long wooden desk, a filing cabinet, a few potted plants, and a couple of shelves for storing all sorts of things. However, on closer inspection, I notice that things look a little more disheveled than I expected. Manila folders are strewn across the desk. One of the filing cabinet drawers hangs open, and the potted plants are either overwatered or wilting. Is this really Scalar's office? Mr. Nito? My attention is suddenly pulled away towards the hulking figure sitting behind the desk. I can only imagine what that office chair is going through right now. Sir, is everything all right? Have a seat, please. Everything is fine, Ben screamed at the top of his lungs. Now I have to run away for no reason. He motions to a small plastic chair on my side of the desk. How have you been, Inko? Oh. I oblige his request, taking a seat and trying to suppress my anxiety. I think I'm doing well. He nods to himself, holding his eyes closed. That's good to hear. The whale looks down at an open folder on his desk, taking a moment to look over some kind of document. Oh my god? Did Mr. Iadakan fucking die? Is that why he was so concerned about people not acting like they have all the time in the world, and why he didn't care if he lost his job? What about is his wife still alive? I have news for you regarding your instructor for AP Art Design and Photography. You mean Mr. Iadakan? Yes, Mr. Iadakan. A fine teacher, if student surveys are anything to go by. He also spoke quite highly of you. Oops. I'm reading. Did you have a strong relationship with him? Yeah, I think so. Did something happen? My heart drops as Ferris's brow lowers ever so slightly. Suddenly his tone completely shifts to one more clinical. Over the last 2 years, Mr. Iadakan has been suffering from a rare form of chondrosarcoma that originated in his vertebrae. His tone is heavy. I don't quite know what ailment he just named, like he should spit on the doctors responsible for discovering it, but the practiced movements and worn-out features are undeniable. He's by no means a fragile man, but the tiredness he tries to hide is barely concealed. Every student he's broken the news to has taken something more from him. Tensing himself slightly to be as tactful as he can, the attempted reverence is lost as he recited scripted lines are just too many times already. He can't muster much more than a flat citation. This analysis means nothing. I'm just distracting myself from the reality of the situation as though prolonging a confirmation will keep it from happening. Mr. Ferris notices my subtle confusion and clarifies like he must have done a few dozen times already. Bone cancer. Mr. Iadakan was well advised by medical professionals about the treatment options available to him, and the district offered him a generous medical leave in recognition for his tenure here at St. Hammond. He turned both of those down. The cacophony of thoughts swirling in my head makes it nearly impossible to think, impossible to focus on anything. Right now, all I can do is revel in it. Time passes. I'm not sure how much, but I still can't get a grip on my own mind. Ferris is calmly waiting for me to say something, but I can tell he's becoming uncomfortable. There's one thing that I can muster the will to ask. Why? The whale grimaces. I wish I had an answer. His inflection tells me of his own questioning thoughts. The exchange seems to give Ferris the energy to continue. However, on Sunday, Mr. Iadakan was hospitalized due to complications with his illness. He passed away the following morning. Olivia was called here before me. Counseling will be available for you and anybody else affected. I'm sorry, do you know where Olivia went? No, she didn't say. I'd like to go now, Mr. Ferris. Yes, feel free. I stand up from the plastic chair, pushing it closer to the principal's desk. Offering one last nod to the superintendent, I let myself out of the office. As soon as the door clicks shut, I start running. Oh man, Olivia's entire motivation was to paint something for Mr. Iadakan. To show him. Fuck. Shit, where would she go? The studio room, maybe? It's the best lead I have. Thanks to all those gym classes, I'll have no trouble getting there quickly. Shit. I am too sensitive for this crap. Ugh. My new destination takes me up to the main staircase of the school and onto the second floor. It's not long before I'm staring down at the hallway of Iadakan's classroom. I breathe a sigh of relief as I spot Olivia sat in front of the door. God, what do I even say to her? My thoughts come crashing to a halt as I see another dinosaur beside her, gesturing manically. I swear to God if it's Mia. Oh, thank God. Ben? From an outsider's view, it looks like Ben is trying to talk her into something. But there's such a stark contrast between their moods. I suppose Ben is mourning too, but maybe he's just handling it differently? That's the plan I have in mind. What do you think of it? Olivia? Yeah, okay. Olivia's reply came off weak and unfocused, like she wasn't talking to Ben at all. Can I count on you to be part of it? Sure. I remain obscured from view. This doesn't seem like a conversation I should intrude on. I'll just catch up to Olivia after. Honestly, I'm somewhat surprised Ben is talking to her. No, maybe that Olivia is listening to Ben? That those differences are being put aside? For once, our priorities aligned. I had thought to come find Olivia too. I wonder. Iadakan was a mentor to each of us. Like he'd always be around to help us, but now... all the little things make you anxious or aggravated are gone in an instant. All that's left is reality. Why bother with this dramatic garbage if now's not the time to be brought together, then when? I'm thinking too much. My hands are shivering. Something in my heart threatens to fall apart, but not now. Her voice was too quiet for me to hear, but whatever she said wasn't what Ben wanted to hear. Olivia, I need to know that you're with me on this. Yeah. Olivia. Ben kneels right next to Olivia's chair, putting the two at eye level, though she keeps hers averted to the side. I need to know that you're in on this fully. There's a strange panic in the pterosaur's voice. Please, Olivia, for him. Finally, after what felt like a few minutes, despite it only being 4 or 5 seconds, Olivia looks back at Ben's face and gives him a meek nod. I'm going to take that as a yes, then. The Gator girl gives no other reply to Ben's words. The only sign that his words had registered in her mind were her hands suddenly yet gently shaking, all the while her claws dug ever deeper into her wheelchair's armrests. Her bulwark broke at last. Seeing the droplets from her eyes drives a searing pain through my chest. My instincts drove me forward, beyond my common sense. I grip the blue boy's shoulder and pull him up. Ben? The pterosaur's eyes snap up towards me. He makes eye contact with me, a depressive expression coating his face. Inko, what are you doing here? I wanted to see Olivia. Olivia's silver eyes finally lift, and the pain reflected in them threatens to shatter my aching heart. Ben looks back to see those mournful eyes too, though his reaction seems to be the opposite to mine as a smile draws across his face. Inko, hear me out. I'm trying to organize a eulogy for Iadakan. You know, to say our goodbyes to him. He deserves it, at least. Olivia, me, and you. He helped each of us so much, and... while the parasaur rambles on, I turn my attention solely on Olivia. I push past Ben and take a knee to Olivia, now eye level with her. Ben finally stops talking. I can feel his stare boring into the back of my head. He wants an answer for whatever he was just talking about. A eulogy for Mr. Iadakan? It's so surreal to think about that. To think that I spoke with him only yesterday and today he's just... gone. A eulogy. Yeah, it's the least we could do for Iadakan as his pupils. He deserves so much more, though. So much. Right, yeah, Olivia's probably feeling what I'm feeling right now. This fight between reality and emotions. Iadakan's gone and I'm still trying to process it. Trying to accept the fact that I'll never see him again, or listen to him again, or get advice from him again. Never to get to impress him or to show him how much I've improved because of his lessons. I don't think I'm ready to accept that he's gone. Ben clears his throat, snapping me from my stupor and back to our current reality. I'm sorry to be so pushy, but I need to know if you and Olivia are in or not. Ben turns to look at Olivia as he says those words. Olivia, meanwhile, continues to stare absent-mindedly at the wall, almost as if Ben's words were not emanating from right next to her, but a few dozen miles away instead. Ben, I don't think... I suddenly feel a cool scaled hand fall atop of my own. I turn to look into Olivia's pain-stricken eyes. They gaze deeply into mine, pleading, begging to make the pain vanish. I don't quite know what I should do. Ben has the right idea. We should all say goodbye together, or we're not ready to say goodbye. It's too soon. Between Snoot and Wani, I wonder if Cavemenon has a thing against Parasaurolphuses. Even Ben isn't that great. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, okay, we're not ready to say goodbye. That's like denial, but they did just get the news, right? Give them a minute to breathe before you start planning things. It's too soon. Too soon. Yeah, we're not ready to say goodbye. Can you give us some time, Ben? The student council president's taken aback by my words. But Olivia, his frustration with us seems to grow each second. Ben, look, no. I turn fully to Ben with my hands raised defensively. Ben, listen. We need to do this. For Eatacan. Dude, he's also mourning, but this is not the way to go about it. For everyone that cared about him. For us. So why won't you help me? We want to, Ben, really, but can't you see that what you're asking for is way too soon? Damn it, we just found out. His breathing is haggard now, his composure completely blown, and his own pain is painted across his face as he allows his glasses to slide away from his puffy red eyes. Just... Ben. Her voice is soft and gentle. Her head turns back to me, her own pain still in her eyes, but also sympathy too. She looks forward, and her words are more resolute. Ben, I understand. The Parasaur boy's breathing hitches. You're right. We should do this, and I will. I promise I will. But it's too soon. We all need time. But he clenches his teeth, followed by his fists. He takes a sharp, uneven breath, his glasses sliding off his face and right onto the floor. He's so agitated, so exasperated and devastated that he doesn't even seem to care. My free hand finds itself on my other friend's shoulder, forming a full link between us. Olivia reaches down and picks up the prescription glasses, using her sleeve to smudge them cleanish. Ben struggles, his already broken composure fracturing further. His hands shake as he accepts the proffered eyewear from Olivia, having great difficulty setting them back on straight. When he can finally look up from the floor, his eyes are even more raw with fresh pain. You promise? Olivia nods at the quivering question, her own lips starting to shake as well. Yes, but for now Ben finally gets it, as his emotional dam is near bursting. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Ben walks up to me and pats me on the shoulder with a final solemn look at Olivia. With a final solemn look at Olivia and a nod towards me, he walks out of the classroom and leaves Olivia and I alone. As the door clicks closed behind me, I hear Olivia take a sharp and shuddery breath before turning to look at me. Who deals with the prospect of death better, Wani or... That's not even a contest. Wani wins, absolutely. Her eyes are glossy and puffy on the edges. Trails of tears stain down her cheeks. And her expression is someone who doesn't want to believe that it's true, but knows deep down that it is. I don't think Ben is wrong here, just too pushy. His own emotions are as compromised as theirs are right now. 100%, yeah. He's not wrong, he's just dealing with it in a different way. Scout Waffle is correct. All of the meteorite stuff does get ignored until, like, near the end. As I look at her, I feel my emotions come back twice as hard. No, I need to be strong for her sake, damn it. Olivia, I try to find the proper words to say something to her. anything that could give her any sense of comfort to ease her pain, but I feel my throat begin to tighten like someone's hand is around my neck. I don't even notice that I'm crying until my vision becomes blurred with tears. Without thinking, I wrap my arms around the baryonyx and pull her into a hug. Olivia seems shocked at first, frozen by my sudden reaction, but then I feel a pair of arms wrap around me and hands clutching my jacket. Olivia begins to softly sob into my shoulder. I feel my own resolve break down as I hear the increasing pain in her cries. When we're like this, I can't even pretend to be the stronger one anymore. Maybe I could bear the pain of Iatacan, but seeing Olivia like this, I hold on tighter. I don't want to let her go. Suddenly she mumbles something into my shoulder. What was that? We pull apart, and I look over at Olivia. Her face is sunken and covered in splotches and trails of wet and dry tears. She's hyperventilating, and she looks like an absolute mess right now. Yeah, we did do it again. We have hugged that gator a second time. That's 2 on the hug counter for anybody keeping track. Despite this, her eyes are fierce and lively as they meet mine. I need to do something. Right now? She doesn't respond, hurriedly rolling down the hall towards the elevator. Where would she... The fountain. The only place she could be going. I step forward to follow her, but stop. No matter how I try, I can't continue. This is Olivia's promise, not mine. I have no right to intrude into it like that. My hesitancy robbed me of any choice in the matter. She went alone. I'm a fucking idiot. Alone? In this freezing weather? While she's going through this? What the hell was I thinking? I start my silent march through the halls, out the building, and into the frozen wilderness. Okay, I'm going to have to end this soonish, but it depends on how much longer this scene goes on for. I need to get lunch and stuff. It's cold out, freshly starting to snow. The world feels so much smaller, muted, and colorless. Now's not the time. I must find Olivia. There's thin tire tracks in the thinly laid snow, pathing out down the sidewalk. I follow them. The path is serene. The falling flecks of white make it feel like one of Olivia's landscapes. The fountain must just be around the corner. Oh God. I should have gone with her. Of course the fountain is only accessible with stairs. The steps are tall and coated in a thin layer of ice. It's a death trap. Something rolls down and bumps my shoe. It's one of Olivia's handles? My face flashes with heat and my blood runs cold. Oh God, I can't lose 2 people in one day. Please? Okay. I will myself to look up. 8 steps up, Olivia's wheelchair is toppled over on its back. Seat ripped, wheels spread. It's irrecoverable. Olivia is 2 steps further, halfway onto the next ledge. Her arm reaches up for the next one. Olivia! Olivia stops and slowly looks back. It's a look of shock and humiliation at being seen like this. She turns back and starts pulling herself up to the next step. Damn it, Olivia. I take a step up and catch myself. It's a wonder she even got this far. But I find my balance and start marching up towards her. Her arm slips on the ledge and she falls back. I caught her in my arms from behind. I didn't make it. She looks up at me, eyes still filled with tears. I carefully set her down on one of the steps. She hides her face in her palms. I failed Iatacan. Olivia chokes back a sob. I'm just a stupid fuck-up. Fucking chair. And then continues to weep. I sit there and stare for a moment, trying to figure out what to do. I really haven't ever been in a situation like this. Out of curiosity, what time is it for me? Here it is 6 p.m. For me, it's 2 p.m. I haven't really ever been in a situation like this. The poor girl is shaking. Whether it's from the cold or her situation, I don't know. Instinctively, I wrap my arm around her and pull her close to me. Olivia shifts her body accordingly, and we end up in an embrace. That's a 3 on the hug counter. Her sobbing calms down to just occasional hiccups, and her body is no longer sapping the heat from me either. I'm sorry, Inko. Sorry for what? Everything? Being an asshole, being a failure, making you waste your time on me. I'm just awful. Don't say that. I love you. That's what I wanted to say. Now isn't the time. I'm your friend. You know that. I'm here for you the same way you're here for me. Olivia breaks away from our hug. Her face is tear-stained, but she isn't crying anymore. She's looking down at her wheelchair. Do you have a spare at home? No. I stand up, look up the stairs, towards the fountain, and then back to Olivia. I can call Liz if you want. She can come pick us up after we're done. We can worry about your chair then. You're not a failure, Olivia. We're getting you to that fountain. I reach my hand down towards her. Olivia's confusion erodes into a soft smile as she stares at my hand and then back to me. Come lower, let me grab your shoulder. I've done this a few times before. I lean in closer and Olivia pivots the best she can. Once more, she uses her tail as an anchor in place of her legs. It's holding her up pretty well. I never considered it, but that tail must be pretty muscular. Let's go. I want to make Yatakan proud. I climb up to the next step, planting my foot on solid ground. Olivia waits for me to stop before quickly moving her tail up to the next step as well. It's sort of like we're each one leg. Simple enough. It only now occurs to me how close we are right now. By close, I mean I'm practically cradling Olivia against my side. Up another step. Eventually, we finally make it to the top. I manage to shuffle to the fountain. You can just put me down right here. All right? I gently lower Olivia down and place her on the lip of the fountain. There's just enough space for her to sit along the edge, with one leg resting on top and the other hanging off. She looks into the still water in contemplation. My eyes follow hers, focusing in on the coins that have settled on the bottom of the fountain, though hard to see through the opaque ice. Andrew. GVH flubs a serious premise, and Snoot Game succeeds at a silly premise. Yeah, I'd agree with that. My eyes follow hers, focusing in on the... Oh, I read that already. I've stuffed my hands in my pockets for warmth, feeling the skin of my knuckles start to split already. My fingers trace over the quarters I'd usually use on our lunchtime drinks. Achoo! The powerful sneeze draws me away from my meandering thoughts to see the Gator girl quivering on the cold concrete seat. Damn it. Her jaws clenched tight, baring her sharp teeth to the world. Her nostrils flare with each of her breaths, the hot air creating a puff of visible mist, and her eyes are filled to the brim with a fiery rage and salty tears. I want to break the silence between us, ask for her thoughts. She's deep within them, though, raging within her own mind. Finally, having the moment to process everything that's happened. In the end, it's Olivia that breaks the silence with a single, quiet, disdain-filled curse. Yeah, it is the main menu image, though the fountain is frozen, I think. Damn it. Her eyes shut, keeping her tears from falling. Damn it. A hiss seeped through her lips. I made it. I finally made... But... The thought goes unfinished. She lets her shoulders down and turns her gaze away from the spouting water, listlessly gazing towards the obscured afternoon sun that's just managing to peek through the clouds and snow-covered trees. Maybe she's imagining that's where he is now. But what now? I withdraw my hand from my pocket, holding it open for her to see the pocket change in my palm. Scanning over the water feature before us, I think back to all the times I wanted to do just this with someone else. How about we make a wish? Olivia's brow furrows as she glances off to the side. Her fingers grip her hoodie, and I watch as she considers my suggestion thoroughly. Sure, a wish sounds nice right now. I motion her forward. The Gator girl holds her hand out to me, and I drop a quarter into her palm. On 3. I nod in reply. 1, 2, 3. I wish for... Our twin coins flip in the air together. I watch as the coins spin skyward, crashing through the falling snowflakes. At their apex, the coins seem to pause, just to briefly touch one another. And with a synchronized plop, both of the quarters hit the water together. Leaning forward, I see that the coins even landed on the same side. Heads. I wonder if that'll double our chances of making our wishes come true or something. I let out a huff in amusement from Olivia's comment. Though the more I think about it, the more I hope it does. We stay there looking at the fountain together in silence. For a moment, it feels as though time has stopped around us. It's just me and Olivia experiencing the moment together. It almost makes me forget what had just transpired, what we were dealing with, what kind of future the two of us were looking at. For this moment, though, none of those dreadful thoughts mattered. What matters right now is finding a small bit of peace, of solace. A little bit of calm before the storm that was inevitably coming. A harsh wind chill finally brings Olivia and I out of our thoughts. Hey, I'm sorry for being super distant earlier. You don't have to apologize for that, Olivia. Everyone goes through these sorts of things differently. I know, but I just feel bad. I know I'm not the only one who's sad that Iadican is gone, but... Her pause makes me stop and turn around to face her. I can see it in her face that she's trying to form the right words. Iadican was the first person who I felt was a role model for me. He didn't just believe in me, he made me believe in myself, not just for my art, but for being able to succeed in general. I knew that Iadican meant a lot to her, but I never realized he meant that much to her. More than anything, he actually cared about me. About my thoughts and my dreams. I felt... Olivia's lips tremble as she struggles to voice the thought, normal. God, I probably sound stupid saying that. I shake my head in disagreement. You don't. Mr. Iadican was important to me as well. It's okay, Olivia. I know how you feel. He gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten from anyone and encouraged me to follow my dreams, like you. I wish I'd met him sooner. There's a moment of silence between us, the air filled with a mix of sympathetic emotions. A shared sadness for the passing of someone who made an impact on both of our lives, but a sense of thankfulness that he graced our lives. I guess we both got our issues, huh? Yeah, I guess so. A fresh breeze of icy air sends a shudder down my spine. So, what should we do now? I pat off the growing pile of snow from my shoulders and head. Let's see. I look at my phone. School's ending in 10 minutes. Do you want to just chill here until then? No pun intended. Sure. I look around, noticing a tiny bench for two nestled against a tree. The Gator girl must have noticed as she's already holding her arms out for me. I recall something, a certain pair of raptors. The wedding... I kneel down, facing away from Olivia. I can feel the icy flakes melt off me as Olivia leans against me again. Her powerful arms wrap around my shoulders, clawed fingers digging into my jacket. My fingers lock together to form a makeshift seat for her behind me. With my passenger secured, I make a beeline for the bench, lest I get caught up in what I feel pressing into my back. She lets herself drop onto the bench, uncaring for her landing. Taking a page from the book of Olivia, I also drop uncaringly next to her. I'm just glad to have some shelter from the increasing snowfall. So here we are, mission accomplished for Olivia. Now what? My curiosity compels me to ask Olivia something. If you don't mind me asking, what did you wish for? I don't think you can tell someone what you wished for, or else it won't come true. The superstitious side of myself says that she has a fair point, so I decide not to push her any further on it. Just curious is all. We continue relaxing in comfortable silence. I mean, I don't mind telling you if you tell me yours. I guess that's only fair. What did I wish for just now? It's hard to put into words. It's not something specific, rather a feeling that I keep coming back to. Back before I came to this school, I would have wished for more friends or a successful future or to take back something embarrassing from the past. But now that I think about it, I didn't need to make a wish. That's too vague. I know, but I don't know how else to put it. Come on, at least try. My best memories from the past few months? This. This? Being outside in the freezing cold? No, not that. What do you mean, then? I struggle to find the words without making myself sound stupid. You know, we've hung out a lot together, but it's not often that it's just the two of us. Just us? Yeah, that doesn't happen a lot. I wish it was like this more often. The Baryonyx's eyes go wide. Shoot, maybe that came across too weird. I mean, I just want to get closer to you, you know? I watch the beginnings of a blush form across Olivia's cheeks. Wait. I don't mean it like that. I want to get to know you better. She glances away, laughing nervously as her tone changes drastically. Yeah, I understand. Totally. I breathe a silent sigh of relief. You want to know what I wished for? If you don't want to share, you don't have to. No, I asked for yours. It's only right. I wished to know what I want to wish for. I glance across the bench towards her. Yeah, this is a really nice scene. I can't make sense of anything right now. I want today to be over, frozen, and to have never happened all at once. I want Iatakan back, but I don't want to just replace him with someone else. It's too late to start all over again. She stops to wipe her eyes, but they're already dry. All I've ever wanted was to be someone he would be proud of. But it just feels impossible. She looks away. I ended up picking something lame, sorry. What's that? Olivia's still looking away, so while I can hear her hesitation, I can tell what she's thinking. I threw that coin, and out of everything racing in my mind, the one thought that stuck out the most was just... She chews her lips in contemplation for a moment, and when she finally continues, her voice is a soft whisper. I want somebody I can trust. I feel my face heat up from her words and her tone. Even with her head turned, I notice a red flush creeping over Olivia's face, too. I instinctively jerk my head the other direction. Shoot, what do I do now? We're both sitting motionless, neither daring to say another word. If I listen closely, I feel like I can hear her heartbeat from here. She can probably hear mine as well. I don't even notice the cold anymore. Maybe we can just stay like this for a few weeks. No, don't be ridiculous. You need to tell her how you feel. I clear my throat, searching for words that wouldn't come. She just said she wanted somebody to trust. I mean, you can trust me. I hear shuffling from Olivia. Damn it, I can't work up the nerve to turn my head towards her. My neck feels like a rusted hinge as I try to disobey my body and look at her through my periphery. Do you trust me? Despite my words, she nods her head vigorously, the blush growing dangerously bright. Well... I shift my body towards her on the bench. I trust you too. Suddenly she shakes her head a bit, to bring herself back to reality. Maybe I can be honest with you then. You're silly and you're ridiculous. Maybe a little over-optimistic. You're thoughtful and adventurous and you're so willing to just take me with you. You don't treat me any differently for this stupid thing. She lightly hits the armrest of the bench. I guess I stopped noticing it at some point. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're like... So many words dance on the tip of my tongue. Like... My mouth and my brain are at a standstill, one wanting to just blurt whatever, while the other keeps it all in and disseminates it in a thoughtful manner. I know that she's a baryonyx and not an actual gator or crocodile, but you think baby Olivia made those little electronic peeping noises that they do? I hope so. That would be adorable. I hope Billy Bust Up comes out soon. It's a third game. Oh, that sounds really cool, Mark Reed. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. What comes out is... Blargnal. A furious snort rips from the gator's nose, followed by peals of laughter. Out of embarrassed shame, I cover my face with my hands. What was that? I curse my nerves as I try to protest her continued guttural guffaws. Come on, Olivia, I'm really trying. The snowflakes that manage to still land on me melt away from the extreme heat radiating from my whole head. Olivia acquiesces, though, drawing back into just a very smug grin. Okay, take two, Inko. My head's temperature finally drops from core of the sun to a more manageable volcano. Thanks, jerk. Seeing that small quirk of her own lips, I can't stop a smile from growing on my face. I guess, be honest with her, and yourself. Honest. At the very start, I thought you were just out of it. What? You almost ran me over in the hallway. Oh. She frowns and looks away. Sorry. And then you tried to get my seat moved. Sorry. And the claw thing today? Not sorry about that. I figured. And you used to be hard to talk to. I felt awkward anytime I'd even try. Like, thank Raptor Jesus for Damien and Liz, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten to know the real you. Olivia rings her clawed fingers together. And what do you think of the real me? She's easily the most caring person I've ever known. I mean, yeah, she can be a little selfish and doesn't think ahead sometimes, but when she cares for something, she just has to do everything she possibly can for whatever it is. Is that what you think? Yeah, I think you're quite caring and passionate and what? And I know Mr. Iatakan saw that in you too. Olivia's eyes water at the mention of our mentor. Thank you, Inko. Now's the time, Inko. Just say it. Hey, Inko? Say it, say it, say it, say... Do you like me? Yes? Why would you answer that with a question mark? Why does talking have to be so hard? I prepare for Olivia's smug one-liner to crush my weak confession. Instead, I watch as Olivia brings her hood up and hides her eyes with it. Really? For some reason, seeing her like this fills me with a well of confidence. Yeah. Can I hear you say it? I like you, Olivia. I don't get how. Her hood peels away just enough so I can see her shimmering silver eyes. Why would you like someone like me? Well, I just said I like you too. Olivia brings her legs to her chest, holding the limbs tightly to her. She brings her hoodie's hem over her legs, transforming herself into a crocodile-shaped igloo. And a live glue. Oh, slippers was a bad idea. Oh crap, yeah, you okay? Fine. Just call someone. I cough awkwardly and get my phone to call Liz. Hello? Inko, is that you? Aren't you supposed to be in class right now? Scalar let Olivia and I out early. Oh, okay. I was told about Professor Iadakan. I hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm alright. I'm with Olivia by that old park by the school. Her chair's busted, and we're kinda stuck. There's a keening whine from the bundled crocodile next to me, her tail wrapping around her as if to hug herself. Broke? In this weather? Are you two okay? We're fine. Can you just come pick us up? Sure, I think I remember where that is. I'm with Principal Scalar right now. Once we're finished, I can get you two on the way home. Thanks. After some shuffling, the call drops. I turn back to Olivia. She seems more anxious than anything right now. You alright? Yeah. Toronto has been slain by the cuteness. It's too much for him. I'll be okay. The stovepipe maw of the Olive glue shatters quietly in the cold. My concern finally takes hold, forcing me to finally close the gap between us. She said the chair had no replacement. It'll take a while for a new one to come in. That means she'll be trapped at home, completely sealed off from the outside. Man, the beginning of Olivia's annoyed protests die of exposure, becoming a grumbling acceptance as I wrap my arms around her shivering form. You're lucky you're warm, Inko. I just noticed the slippers. Those are pretty cute. Yeah, I definitely feel like it, as her body shifts and nestles closer against me. Olivia's tail lays on my lap, the shivers reverberating through the most. I lay my palm atop it, feeling the cold limbs shaking slowly still. Some long-distant trivia about limbs losing heat the fastest springs to mind, and in the hopes of keeping frostbite away, I pet the heavy tail. As I do, I hear the silliest sound rumbling from Olivia's chest and through the rest of her. It's like a purring cat, almost. There's a new sensation on my cheek now, soft and warm. Aww. She's... Her lips are planted firmly on my cheek, and This feels nice. As I continue to warm her tail for her, I feel her warm lips press more and more against my cheek. I don't know if kisses are supposed to go this long, and be this wet. And now the lips are moving, and some pointy things are there, and... Munch. And that's her teeth. Olivia instantly lets go of my cheek from her non-lethal bite. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm new to this stuff. I'm nervous. It's okay, really. I put a hand on my cheek to feel the damage. I feel the indents of her fangs, but nothing serious. I almost even start falling asleep before we hear a car pull up to the bottom of the hill. Olivia perks up and leans forward to try and see who it is. A few seconds later, Liz's head rises above the stairs, scanning like a submarine periscope. Crap, it's gonna be tough getting all the way back down, even with Liz's help. I look back and smile at Olivia, still huddled against herself and clinging to my arm. You ready? Today seemed to drag on endlessly. Liz's arrival had ended our embrace, and she had quite the dour look on her face. She said she'd been in a meeting with the principal, and I could only imagine how the faculty and the student council were reacting to Iadacan's passing. Her mood seemed to lift a little, at least, when she saw Olivia and I both huddled together beneath a tree. Olivia's mood, on the other hand, plummeted. Probably from the way Liz and I had to carry her to the car. The ride to the Payne household had been silent, save for Olivia's grumbling and embarrassment. I think I'd be in a similar mood if I was treated like a sack of potatoes, but then again, how else were we supposed to carry her? I should suggest more leg workouts to Coach Solly, just in case. Damien and Randy were waiting for us at the curb, the older man looking over Olivia with worry. When your friend told us, Soph and I, we were beside ourselves. I'm fine. Randy didn't really hear her, as the instant her car door was open, her legal guardian pulled her up into one hell of a bear hug. Come on, I'll get you kids some hot cocoa. Damien watched on with a smile of relief as his father hauled her over his shoulder and marched her into his home. You guys want to stick around? Vinny's still in school, so we have the consoles to ourselves. It's pretty early, all things considered. Sure, I'd love some hot chocolate right now. Liz? I'd really like to, but the council still needs to prepare the arrangements for Iadacan's, well, you know. Maybe I'll come by after if I can. Alright, well, if you do, I'll make sure there's some cocoa left. I appreciate it. With that, Liz drives off down the street. Come on, let's head inside before we turn into popsicles. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to cut it off here for now. It's been over 3 hours, and I got other stuff to do, unfortunately. Inko needs to work out more so he can do the bridal carry. Absolutely, 100%. Alright, I just want to thank everybody for showing up. Daps, Joseph Pena, Senshi, Chaos Wolf, Dupio, Cole, Cool, Velayeek in the Real World, Scout Waffle, Andrew Parsons, Toronto Man's on the Moon, thanks for coming, everybody. I hope you guys have a good night or afternoon, whatever time it is where you are. See you later. I'll be doing this next week, too.